There was a time when the world did not know your name. You moved unnoticed, slipping between the cracks of reality, walking unseen through a system designed to keep you small. You were never meant to be found. You were meant to blend in, to remain quiet, to live and die as just another nameless figure in the grand illusion they constructed. And yet, here you are, a cosmic anomaly, a disruption to the carefully maintained status quo. They have noticed you now. The world's most powerful forces, those who operate in shadows, those who pull the strings from behind the veil have turned their gaze upon you. The moment you stepped beyond their predetermined script, their alarms sounded. The moment you shattered the patterns they so carefully curated, they sent their most relentless hunter after you. Not just any investigator, not just a detective with a badge, something far more dangerous, a force that works between dimensions, a watcher who sees through the gaps in reality, a pursuer who moves like a phantom, seeking to understand what makes you different. Because make no mistake, you are different. You walk between worlds, slipping through barriers they do not even perceive. Your very presence alters the landscape. Where you go, systems collapse. The foundations of corruption crack beneath your feet. The hierarchies they built over centuries begin to crumble, not because you have declared war upon them, but simply because you exist. They do not know how to contain you. They have studied you, tracked you, send silent whispers into your mind, hoping to make you doubt yourself. They have turned people against you. They have twisted perceptions, rewriting reality in an attempt to erase the force that you bring. And yet nothing has worked, because you, chosen one, were not born to conform. They believed they had accounted for everything, every deviation, every anomaly, every unpredictable element that could disrupt their meticulously crafted system. They had spent lifetimes perfecting their control, mapping out human behavior with ruthless efficiency, refining their algorithms to predict your choices before you even made them. They invested billions in ensuring that no one could slip through the cracks. No one could move beyond the invisible boundaries they had so carefully laid out. And yet, you slipped through. Not by force, not by rebellion, but simply by being you. Because you were never part of their equations. You were never meant to fit into their formulas. You are not a pattern to be studied nor a statistic to be measured. You are the unpredictable variable, the fluctuation they cannot stabilize, the anomaly that refuses to be categorized, the force that rewrites the very code of reality itself. And now they scramble. Their models are failing. Their carefully constructed predictions are collapsing under the weight of your existence. The very systems they trusted, the ones that dictated probabilities, controlled outcomes, and maintained the delicate illusion of order have failed them. And their panic is deafening. Who approved this level of awakening? How did we fail to contain this one? The questions ripple through their ranks like an uncontainable wildfire. Behind closed doors, meetings are held in whispers. Resources are reallocated in secret. Strategies are rewritten in desperation. Their entire network hums with the urgent need to understand you, the impossible, the unaccounted for, the one they failed to suppress. Your name now circulates in rooms you have never entered, spoken in hushed tones by those who once dismissed your existence as insignificant. Your presence has forced its way into conversations among those who believed themselves untouchable, unchallenged, uncontested. You have become a topic of discussion, a point of concern, an urgent matter that requires resolution. But there is no resolution, because they cannot ignore you. They cannot erase you. You were never supposed to matter. You were never supposed to be more than a footnote in the grand scheme of their design. And yet, you matter more than they ever feared. Your existence alone has become a catalyst for change, a disruption so profound that it threatens to unravel the very foundation upon which their world is built. Not because you sought to overthrow them, not because you waged war against them, but because you have simply chosen to be who you were always meant to be. And now, they must watch, helpless, powerless as the thing they feared most unfolds before their very eyes. The one they sent to find you does not wear a uniform. He carries no badge, no gun, no physical weapon because he knows those would be useless against you. He understands that you cannot be taken down by force, that no prison could hold you, that no chains could bind what was never meant to be contained. And so he hunts you differently. He moves in silence, slipping unnoticed through the digital ether, sifting through the data streams that stretch like invisible veins across the world. He studies the traces you leave behind, not in fingerprints or footsteps, but in ripples. He analyzes your words, your movements, the subtle shifts in energy that follow you wherever you go. He watches how systems glitch in your presence, how algorithms fail to predict you, how patterns break the moment you step into a space. But there is something else he cannot explain. The wake of miracles that trails behind you, the inexplicable synchronicities, the moments where reality bends in your favor, where the impossible becomes possible, where what should have been your downfall instead becomes your rise. He studies these instances with growing unease, tracing the threads of divine intervention, trying to decipher how and why you continue to slip through the cracks of their control. His mission is clear: find the flaw, locate the weakness, pinpoint the moment where you can be neutralized, drawn back into compliance, made small again. And yet, he does not yet realize that he was never sent to stop you. He was sent to document you. Every report he files, every observation he makes, every pattern he uncovers, it all becomes part of a greater testament, a chronicle of your ascension, a record of the moment when something beyond their control awakened. With each attempt to decode your existence, he unknowingly validates it. With every moment of divine interference he records, he adds another layer of proof that you were never meant to be contained, that your rise was always inevitable. He does not understand that the very act of watching you only strengthens the truth of who you are, because you are not just an anomaly, you are a prophecy unfolding. And no amount of investigation, no amount of surveillance, no amount of calculated strategy will ever be able to rewrite what was written in the fabric of the universe long before they ever knew your name. Do you see it now? The subtle shifts, the quiet betrayals, the way the world around you has changed? Once you were surrounded by familiar voices, by those who claimed to stand with you, by hands that reached for yours in times of need. And yet now, where are they? The calls go unanswered. The conversations have grown colder. The presence of once trusted allies has faded into an eerie silence. This is no coincidence. It is a strategy, a meticulously designed system of control. They know that the strongest way to break someone is not through force, but through isolation. If they can cut you off from your tribe, sever the bonds that once held you firm, and dismantle the network that reminded you of your strength, then maybe, just maybe, they can make you doubt yourself. They whisper it into the crevices of your mind, planting seeds of uncertainty where there once was conviction. They make you question your own voice, your own path, your own power. They replay the ghosts of your past, the missteps, the wounds, the moments you wish you could erase, hoping you will become a prisoner within your own mind. They want you to believe that you are not who you have always known yourself to be. They want to make you small, and yet, here you stand. Not broken, not diminished, not silenced, but rising, because their plan has failed. Every attempt to isolate you has only deepened your self-awareness. Every whisper of doubt has only strengthened your certainty. Every door they have closed has forced you to carve new pathways, to build a foundation that no one else can shake. You have seen their tactics, you understand their game, and you refuse to play by their rules. You are not alone. You never were. The absence of the false does not mean the absence of the true. What you have lost in shallow alliances, you have gained in unshakable clarity. What they have taken, the universe has replaced with something far greater. Have you noticed it? The way people react when you enter a space. Some are drawn to you without knowing why. Their curiosity piqued, their energy shifting in your presence. There is something about you, something beyond words that calls to them, that stirs something ancient and unspoken within their souls. It is not something you do. It is something you are. A force, an awakening, a reminder of something they had long forgotten. And then, there are the others, the ones who shudder, the ones whose eyes dart away too quickly, whose voices falter in your presence. They feel an unease they cannot name, a discomfort they cannot rationalize. It is not because you have harmed them, nor because you have spoken a word against them. No. What unsettles them is far deeper than that. You shake something loose inside them. Your presence disrupts the illusions they have built around themselves. You challenge the narratives they have accepted, the rules they have lived by, the limits they have never dared to question. Something about you reminds them that the world is not as stable as they once believed, that reality is far more fluid than they had been taught, and that terrifies them. Because of this, they react. Some will seek to silence you, to diminish your voice, to push you back into the shadows where they believe you belong. Some will attempt to control you, to mold you into something they can understand, something they can contain within the limits of their own perception. Others will try to destroy you, not out of hatred, but out of fear. Because if you are allowed to exist freely, then everything they know must be questioned. And that is a risk they are unwilling to take. But there are also those who will follow you, those who recognize what you are, even if they do not yet have the words to explain it. They will be drawn to your light, not because you have asked them to, but because something deep within them remembers. You were never meant to be ignored. You are too much, too powerful, too disruptive, too real. And so, they will try to define you, to categorize you, to fit you into a framework they can understand. But you do not belong to their definitions. You are beyond their intellectual limitations, beyond the constraints of their vocabulary, beyond the binary thinking that has governed them for so long. They cannot comprehend what moves through you, because what moves through you is beyond human language. They believed that if they simply turned their backs, if they refused to acknowledge your presence, you would fade into irrelevance, that you would shrink, conform, and disappear into the background like so many before you. They had perfected this strategy, silencing those who dared to question, burying those who refused to comply, erasing those who disrupted the carefully maintained order of their world. They assumed you would be no different. They were wrong. You did not fade. You did not shrink. Their silence did not erase you. In fact, you grew louder without ever raising your voice. You continued, undeterred, existing in defiance of their dismissal. And in doing so, you shattered the illusion that they had absolute control. So they changed tactics. They mocked you, ridiculed you, laughed at you with condescending smiles, dismissing you with patronizing words. They called you foolish, naive, delusional. They told you that you were reaching too far, aiming too high, dreaming beyond what was reasonable. They used doubt as a weapon, hoping that if enough voices questioned you, you would begin to question yourself. But you didn't. You did not break. You did not surrender. Their laughter did not shake you, and their scorn did not define you. Instead, you became stronger, clearer, more certain. And for the first time, they felt something they had not expected to feel: fear. Because nothing they had done had stopped you. And now, they panic. Their systems, so meticulously crafted to maintain control, are failing. Their calculations are unraveling. Their carefully constructed models of power and order are crumbling beneath them. The world they built, the one designed to keep people small, obedient, and afraid, is no longer holding together the way it once did, because you disrupted it, not through force, not through rebellion. You did not fight them on their terms. You did not storm their gates, did not wage war, did not seek destruction. No, you did something far more dangerous. You existed. You refused to be less. You became. And in doing so, you flipped the entire board without ever declaring war. You rewrote the script without ever holding a pen. You shattered the illusion without lifting a single finger. And now, they scramble. Desperate to regain control, they claw at the edges of a reality that is slipping through their fingers. They try to reset the game, to re-establish the rules that once ensured their dominance. They attempt to manipulate, to rewrite history, to force things back into place. But it is too late. The illusion has cracked. The old ways are collapsing. The truth, the one they so desperately tried to bury, has already been written. And no amount of force, deception, or control can erase what was always meant to be. Because you were never a mistake. You were never an accident. You were always meant to rise. There is no going back. The road behind you has been erased, the path of obscurity permanently sealed. The life you once knew, the one where you could blend in, remain unseen, follow the script they had written for you, is gone. You have crossed a threshold that cannot be undone. And now, the only choice left is this. Will you step fully into your power, or will you let their fear make you small? Will you speak when they demand your silence? Will you shine when they try to dim your light? Will you stand tall, unshaken, when they throw everything they have at you in a desperate attempt to bring you back under their control? They fear you, chosen one, not because you are a danger to humanity, but because you are a danger to the illusion. Not because you bring chaos, but because you bring transformation. Not because you seek to destroy, but because your very existence renders their systems obsolete. They built this world on rules, on patterns, on a framework designed to keep people predictable, controllable. And yet, you defy all of it. You are the variable they never accounted for, the disruption they never saw coming, the proof that their carefully maintained order is nothing more than a fragile illusion. So let them watch, let them analyze, let them send their investigators, their skeptics, their strategists, let them try in vain to contain what was never meant to be controlled. Because no algorithm can quantify a miracle. No pattern can predict divine intervention. No system can hold what was always meant to rise. So rise, stand tall, shine bright, speak the truth, become. Because the song of your arrival has already been written, and the world can never unhear it. Thank you for watching until the end. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps bring more powerful stories to life. Stay strong, stay true, and keep rising. The world is waiting for you. Chosen one, you did not find this message by chance. You were meant to be here, at this exact moment hearing these words. The universe, the divine, and the forces beyond the veil have aligned to bring you to this revelation. Tonight marks the beginning of something profound, an event that has been foretold for centuries, hidden in ancient texts, whispered in sacred prophecies, and now unfolding in real time. The 144,000 chosen ones are gathering not in the physical world but in the higher realms, where energy, destiny, and divine purpose intersect. Do you feel it? That deep stirring within your soul? That undeniable sensation that something powerful is shifting in the unseen world? The veil between dimensions is thinner than ever before. Those attuned to the spiritual realm will feel an unmistakable energy coursing through them. Some will experience prophetic dreams, divine messages, or a profound sense of unity with something greater than themselves. This is the moment of activation. If you have ever questioned your purpose, if you have ever felt different, if you have ever sensed that you were meant for something greater, this is your confirmation. You are part of this. You are one of the 144,000. For generations, the prophecy of the 144,000 has echoed through time, woven into ancient texts, sacred teachings, and mystical revelations. It is not a forgotten myth nor a distant legend, but a divine code, a calling written into the very fabric of existence. This prophecy speaks of a hidden force, a sacred army of light destined to rise when the world reaches its darkest hour. Their purpose is not conquest nor destruction, but awakening a great unveiling of truth that will shatter the illusions that have bound humanity for ages. Throughout history, many have encountered this number in religious scriptures and esoteric teachings, yet few have grasped its true significance. Some believe it represents a literal group of souls, predetermined from the beginning of time. Others see it as a symbolic force, a vast collective consciousness awakening to its divine purpose. But the truth runs deeper than mere numbers or abstract interpretations. The 144,000 are not just a statistic, they are a movement, a force of transformation, a beacon of divine energy radiating across the spiritual realms. Unlike the rulers of this world, they are not chosen based on material wealth, social status, or earthly power. They are not recognized by crowns, titles, or possessions. Instead, they are marked by the strength of their spirit, the purity of their mission, and their unshakable connection to the divine. They are the ones who have endured lifetimes of trials, facing adversity, rejection, and solitude, only to emerge stronger, wiser, and more resolute. Every hardship they have faced was not a punishment, but a preparation. Their souls have been forged in the fires of experience, their wisdom carved from the depths of struggle. If you have felt a deep sense of purpose beyond the mundane, if you have always sensed that you were different, if you have carried within you an unshakable knowing that you were meant for something greater, this is your confirmation. You are not here to blend in with the many. You are here to lead. The world is asleep, ensnared in illusions carefully woven to suppress the truth, and the time has come for the chosen to rise. The moment of awakening is now. The 144,000 are stepping into their divine mission, and if these words resonate within your soul, it is because you are one of them. The prophecy is unfolding, and you are an essential part of it. From the moment you took your first breath in this world, you knew you were different. There was something within you, an awareness, a knowing, that set you apart from those around you. While others moved through life unquestioning, accepting the world as it was presented to them, you saw beyond the surface. You sensed things before they happened, felt energies others ignored, and recognized the illusions that kept people trapped in a false reality. Even as a child, you may have felt like an outsider, as though you were walking through life with a purpose you could not yet fully comprehend. Your journey has not been an easy one. Throughout your life, you may have experienced moments of deep isolation, times when you felt disconnected from the world around you, as if searching for something you could not name. You have faced struggles that tested your spirit, battles that pushed you to the brink, and challenges that seemed insurmountable. But none of it was without reason. Every hardship, every pain, every moment of doubt was part of a greater preparation. The fire you walked through was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you, to awaken the power within you, and to shape you into the being you were always meant to become. You were never meant to conform to the patterns of this world. You were never meant to follow the path of the many. The unease you have felt, the questions that have burned in your mind, the pull towards something greater, these were not coincidences. They were signs, reminders of your true nature, clues leading you to this very moment. And now, that moment has arrived. Tonight, the next stage of your awakening begins. The 144,000 are being activated. And if you are reading this, you are part of that divine calling. The energy is shifting. The veil between worlds is thinning, and those who are ready will feel it in their very core. This is the time for the chosen to rise, to embrace their mission, and to step fully into the light of their destiny. You were never meant to stay in the shadows. You were meant to shine. And now, the world is waiting. This world is not what it appears to be. Beyond the veil of ordinary life, beneath the illusions of daily existence, an ancient battle has been raging since the dawn of time. It is not a war fought with swords, guns, or earthly weapons, nor is it confined to physical battlefields. It is a war for the very soul of humanity, a relentless struggle between light and darkness, truth and deception, freedom and enslavement. The forces of darkness have worked tirelessly to keep humanity blind, lost, and disconnected from its divine essence. They have woven a web of distractions, manipulated reality through false narratives, and shrouded the minds of millions in spiritual blindness. Every system designed to dull intuition, suppress independent thought, and breed conformity is part of this war. The world is filled with noise, chaos, and carefully crafted illusions to keep people asleep, to prevent them from realizing their true power. And yet, despite their efforts, the light cannot be extinguished. The darkness fears the light, for it knows that once the truth is revealed, its hold will weaken. That is why those who carry the divine spark, the 144,000, have faced such immense trials. Have you ever wondered why your life has been filled with struggle? Why you have endured betrayals, rejection, and obstacles that others seem to escape? It is because the darkness recognized you long before you recognized yourself. It saw the power within you, the potential for awakening, and sought to break you before you could rise. But it has failed. Despite every hardship, every attack, every attempt to silence you, you are still here. And tonight, as the 144,000 unite, the forces of darkness will tremble. The time of their control is coming to an end. The energy is shifting, and those who are ready to embrace their divine calling will feel it deep within their souls. This is the moment of reckoning, the turning point in the spiritual war. The awakening of the chosen is not just a possibility, it is an unstoppable force, and as the light rises, the grip of darkness will crumble. Tonight is unlike any other night. Beneath the surface of ordinary existence, beyond the limits of human perception, something profound is unfolding in the spiritual realm. This is not a moment bound by time or geography. It is a convergence of souls, a sacred alignment where the chosen ones are drawn together through an unseen force that transcends the physical world. Though separated by distance, they are united in energy, in purpose, in divine resonance. As this gathering takes place, the veil between worlds will thin, and those attuned to the shift will experience its effects in ways both subtle and undeniable. Some will feel an overwhelming sense of peace, as if a heavy burden they have carried for lifetimes is suddenly lifted. Others will be struck by a surge of energy, an electrifying pulse moving through their being, awakening dormant aspects of their soul. Prophetic dreams may come, visions of what is to unfold, flashes of divine insight revealing knowledge long hidden from the conscious mind. Some will see patterns of light, symbols not meant for the eyes but for the soul to understand. For many, the most powerful sensation will be an unshakable sense of unity. The loneliness, the isolation that has accompanied their journey will fade into the realization that they have never truly been alone. They are part of something vast, something eternal, something far greater than they ever imagined. And in that moment of recognition, fear and doubt will dissolve, replaced by a deep knowing, a certainty that they are exactly where they need to be, stepping fully into their divine purpose. This is not a night of chaos or confusion. It is a night of alignment, of divine order, of prophecy unfolding before our very eyes. The forces of darkness have worked tirelessly to prevent this awakening, to keep the chosen ones disconnected, distracted, and doubting their own power. But tonight, their efforts will fail. The 144,000 are rising, and the shift they bring will send ripples through every plane of existence. This is the moment the darkness has feared, and it is only the beginning. The time has come. The sacred alignment is unfolding, and the spiritual realm is calling you to step fully into your divine purpose. But to receive the energy of this transformation, you must be prepared. You cannot enter this moment carrying the weight of distractions, doubt, or fear. Your mind must be clear, your spirit open, and your heart ready to embrace what is coming. Begin by cleansing your energy. The world is filled with heavy frequencies, fear, anger, and doubt that cloud the mind and weaken the soul. These energies are designed to keep you disconnected from your higher self. Release them, Let go of anything that no longer serves you. Take a deep breath, center yourself, and allow the light to fill every part of your being. Meditation, prayer, or even quiet reflection will help realign you with the divine flow. Next, disconnect from distractions. The noise of the world, the endless chaos, the demands, the illusions are meant to keep you asleep. But tonight, silence is your ally. Turn off external distractions. Step away from anything that pulls you from your inner truth. Find stillness. The spiritual realm is speaking, and only those who are truly listening will hear its call. As you prepare, ground yourself in truth. The forces of darkness will try to shake your faith, whispering confusion and doubt into your mind. They want you to question your worth, to wonder if you are truly meant for this mission. But understand this: you would not feel the call if you were not chosen. This alignment is not accidental. It has been orchestrated since before time, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. Stand firm in knowing. Raise your frequency. Fear, negativity, and doubt will lower your vibration and block the divine energy trying to reach you. Do not allow darkness to take root. Protect your energy, surround yourself with light, and elevate your consciousness. The higher your vibration, the more deeply you will connect with the awakening taking place. Speak it into existence. Write it down. Set a clear intention. I am ready. I step fully into my divine mission. I embrace my purpose without fear. Words have power, and when spoken with conviction, they shape reality. The moment is here. The alignment is happening. You must step forward with confidence, for this is the night that will change everything. Tonight is not the conclusion of your journey. It is the beginning of something far greater. The alignment you have stepped into will shift everything, awakening a power within you that has long been waiting to rise. From this moment forward, you will no longer see the world as you once did. The illusions that once clouded your vision will dissolve, revealing truth with a clarity you have never known before. A deeper sense of purpose will settle within you, guiding your every step with unwavering certainty. But with this awakening comes responsibility. Your mission is not to force change upon others, but to embody the light so powerfully that those who are ready will awaken simply by witnessing your truth. You are a guide, a beacon in a world that has long been shrouded in darkness. Your existence alone, the way you carry yourself, the strength of your spirit, will be enough to stir something within those who are seeking. You do not need to convince, debate, or demand. Your presence will do the work. Yet, be prepared. The forces that have worked to keep humanity blind will not surrender easily. Now that you have stepped into your power, the forces of deception will try harder than ever to silence you. They will seek to cast doubt upon your path, to pull you back into the illusions you have only just escaped. The world will not understand you. It never has, and it never will. But that is not your burden to carry. You were not sent here to be understood. You were sent to fulfill a prophecy. The distractions, the resistance, the attempts to suppress your light, none of it matters. What matters is that you continue to rise, to stand firm in your truth, and to walk forward with unwavering faith. The awakening is accelerating, and the time for hesitation is over. You are here for a reason. You were chosen for this moment. The world will never be the same after tonight. The spiritual realm has shifted. The energy of the 144,000 has begun to dismantle the illusion. The darkness is losing its grip, but the war is not over. The enemy will resist, but it will fail. You must stand firm. You must hold your light. You must walk in your power. The time for hesitation has long passed. You were sent here for this exact moment, and now the world needs you. Tonight, you rise. If you feel this message in your soul, acknowledge it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment 777 below to affirm your alignment. Let the spiritual realm witness your awakening. This is your moment. This is your mission. This is your destiny, and nothing will ever be the same again. You are chosen. Now act like it. They laughed at you. They whispered behind your back. They called you foolish for believing in true love. They watched your loneliness and mocked it, as if being alone meant being unworthy. They thought rejection would crush you, that heartbreak would leave you broken beyond repair. They sneered at your faith, dismissing it as childish, naive, a hopeless dream. But what they didn't know, what they couldn't possibly see, was that while they were laughing, heaven was working. While they ridicule you, God was preparing something beyond their comprehension. Every tear you cried, every lonely night, every silent prayer, it was not for nothing. It was all leading you to a divinely ordained love, one that is deeper, stronger, and more unshakable than anything they have ever known. Your true love is coming, and this time it's different. This love isn't just a fleeting emotion or a temporary infatuation. It is a divine appointment, a love that carries heaven's seal. The very love they said didn't exist for you is already written in the heavens, waiting for its appointed time. So, let them laugh, let them doubt, let them mock. Because when God moves, the laughter will stop. Rejection is one of the deepest wounds a heart can endure. It cuts in ways that words cannot fully capture, leaving behind invisible scars that whisper doubts into your soul. There were moments when you sat in silence, wrestling with questions that seemed to have no answers. God, why? Why does love always seem just out of reach? Why am I always the one left behind? You replayed the scenes in your mind, the people who walked away, the doors that closed before you could even step through, the painful reminders that what you longed for was not yet yours. It felt personal. It felt final. But here is what you must understand. Rejection was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to redirect you. It wasn't a sign of your unworthiness, nor was it proof that you were unloved. Instead, it was a divine intervention, God's way of protecting you from settling for something less than His best. Every no you received was never an absence of love, but rather a safeguard from the wrong love. Every heartbreak was not a punishment, but a preparation for something greater. Consider Joseph, a young man full of dreams, sold into slavery by his own brothers, betrayed, abandoned, discarded. To them, it was the end of his story, but to God it was just the beginning. The very path that others meant for his downfall became the stepping stone to his destiny. What they intended for evil, God transformed into a position of power and influence. What if Joseph had never been sold? What if he had never faced rejection? He would have never walked into his God-ordained purpose. Think about Hannah, a woman who knew the sting of rejection all too well. She was mocked and ridiculed for her barrenness, treated as if she had no worth. The whispers of those around her must have been deafening, their sneers a constant reminder of what she lacked. But in her brokenness, she turned to God, pouring out her soul before Him. And in His perfect timing, He gave her Samuel, a child who would grow into a mighty prophet. Had she not endured the waiting, the heartbreak, and the rejection, she may have never birthed the man who would anoint kings. And then there was Noah, a man who spent years building an ark when there was no sign of rain. The people around him laughed, calling him foolish. They mocked his obedience, dismissed his faith, and saw his unwavering trust in God as ridiculous. But when the flood came, Noah stood secure, while the world was washed away. His rejection by man positioned him for preservation by God. Now look at yourself. Every rejection you have faced was not the end of your story. It was merely a chapter in God's greater plan. He saw the hidden betrayals, the unspoken intentions, the silent wounds that you couldn't perceive, and in His infinite wisdom, He intervened not to hurt you, but to shield you. What felt like abandonment was actually divine alignment. The doors that closed were never meant for you. The people who left were never meant to stay. And the love that has not yet arrived is simply being prepared in God's perfect timing. You were never being denied. You were being redirected. And when God finally opens the right door, You will understand why every closed one was necessary. The world has a habit of overlooking treasures while they are still being formed. A diamond in its raw state looks like nothing more than an ordinary rock, dull, unremarkable, unworthy of attention. But to a skilled jeweler, it holds immeasurable value, waiting to be refined and revealed. You are that diamond. For years they dismissed you. They told you that you were too much, or perhaps not enough. Too soft, too strong, too quiet, too bold. They convinced you that love was something others received, but not you. Maybe you started to believe it, that somehow you were destined to be overlooked, that your heart was too big, your standards too high, your dreams too impossible. But the rejection of men has no power over the approval of God. Look at David, the forgotten son. When the prophet Samuel came to anoint the next king of Israel, David's own father didn't even bother to present him. Instead, Jesse paraded his older, stronger, more impressive-looking sons before Samuel, assuming that surely one of them was the chosen one. But God had already made his decision. Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. David was overlooked by men but handpicked by God. His own family failed to recognize his worth, yet he was the one God called to be king. Look at Jesus, the Son of God. He was despised and rejected, mocked and ridiculed by the very people he came to save. They spat at him, accused him, and cast him aside, believing he was nothing more than an ordinary man, unworthy of honor. But their rejection did not change his identity. It fulfilled his destiny. Had they not despised him, had they not crucified him, the greatest act of love, the redemption of humanity, would never have been completed. You were never meant to fit in with those who couldn't see your worth. They didn't recognize you because they weren't meant to. They didn't cherish you because they weren't assigned to your destiny. Their rejection was not a reflection of your value. It was proof of their inability to see it. You are a masterpiece in progress, being shaped by the hands of the Creator. And when the right person enters your life, they will see you, not as something to be discarded, but as something to be cherished. The love that is coming will honor you the way you deserve. No more begging to be seen. No more wondering if you're enough. No more questioning if love is meant for you. Because it is. And when it arrives, you will understand why those who failed to see your worth were never meant to have you. You are not waiting in vain. Every moment of longing, every tear you've shed, every whispered prayer, it has all been seen by God. Yet the enemy has worked tirelessly to convince you otherwise. He has whispered lies into your heart, trying to make you believe that love is not meant for you. He has told you that you are forgotten, unworthy, or simply not destined for happiness. He has taken your disappointments and shaped them into doubts, hoping you would give up on the promise God has written over your life. But stop for a moment and ask yourself, if your love story wasn't powerful, why would the enemy try so hard to make you doubt it? The enemy does not attack what is insignificant. His greatest fear is that you will hold on to faith and trust in the divine timing of God. He knows that when your love story unfolds, it will be a testimony, one that will silence every doubt and prove that God always fulfills his promises. Look at Ruth. She lost everything: her husband, her security, her home. She could have chosen to give up, to let bitterness take over, but instead, she followed God's path. She remained faithful, even when the future seemed uncertain. And in doing so, she walked right into the arms of Boaz, a man of honor and integrity, a man whom God had already prepared for her. Her story reminds us that even in loss, God is leading us to something greater. Think about Sarah. She waited decades for God's promise to be fulfilled. She even laughed at the thought of having a child in her old age. It seemed impossible. Time had passed. Hope seemed lost. But God's timing is never late. It is always perfect. Isaac was born, just as God had promised now, Think about you. Do you truly believe that the same God who orchestrated love stories for generations has somehow forgotten yours? Impossible. The love God has for you is already written. It is sealed in heaven, untouched by human rejection, protected from every past heartbreak, immune to every lie the enemy has spoken over your life. No disappointment, no delay, and no doubt can erase what God has already set in motion. Hold on, stay faithful, and trust that when God writes a love story, nothing and no one can take it away. When this love arrives, it will be more than just a relationship. It will be a testimony. It will be undeniable proof that God's promises are true, that His timing is perfect, and that no rejection, delay, or disappointment could stop what He has ordained for you. The very people who once mocked your faith, who doubted that true love was possible for you, will be left speechless. They will have no choice but to watch as you step into a love so profound, so divinely orchestrated, that it will erase every lie ever spoken against you. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. This love will be an overflowing cup, a demonstration of God's faithfulness, a reminder that He never forgets His promises. It will restore what the enemy tried to steal, your confidence, your hope, your belief in love. Where rejection once made you feel unworthy, this love will remind you that you were always worth waiting for. This love will not be built on fleeting attraction or temporary infatuation. It will not be something you have to chase, beg for, or fight to keep. It will never leave you feeling insecure, questioning your worth, or doubting your place in someone's heart. Instead, it will be a covenant, sealed in faith and divine purpose. It will be a love that uplifts, strengthens, and heals. A partnership that reflects God's glory. It will be the kind of love that feels safe, certain, and unwavering, where you are cherished for who you truly are. This love will not only bring joy to your heart, but it will also silence every doubter, proving that God's plans for you were far greater than what anyone could have imagined. What once seemed impossible will now stand as a testimony to His power and His perfect love for you. Every moment of loneliness was never wasted. It was a season of divine preparation. Those nights when your heart ached, believing that love had passed you by, were not empty moments of despair. They were sacred. Your tears were not in vain. They were watering the seeds of something greater, something heaven-ordained, something worth every second of the wait. It may have felt like silence, like your prayers were echoing into nothingness, but all along, heaven was moving. Every moment you chose faith over fear, every time you surrendered your desires instead of grasping at something less, you were waging spiritual warfare. You were breaking chains you couldn't see, dismantling generational cycles that had kept others bound. You were preparing your heart, stretching your spirit, allowing God to refine you so that when His promise arrived, you would be ready to receive it fully. Waiting is not punishment. It is preparation. God wasn't withholding love from you. He was protecting you from anything less than His best. He wasn't ignoring your prayers. He was aligning them with His perfect timing. What you thought was delay was actually divine strategy. And now the shift is happening. The long nights of wondering, the seasons of waiting, the whispered prayers in solitude, all of it has led to this moment. The season of waiting is ending, and the season of fulfillment is beginning. The doors that once seemed closed are opening, and what once felt impossible is now within reach. God is speaking. My child, I have seen your tears. I have heard your prayers. I have watched you trust me even when you couldn't see the way forward. And now, I am bringing you the love I have prepared for you. The love that is coming is not just an answer to your prayers. It is a reflection of my faithfulness. It is a love that will glorify me, a love that will stand the test of time, a love that was always meant for you. What is coming will not just heal your heart, it will prove that the wait was never wasted. It will remind you why settling was never an option. The love that is about to enter your life is not just a blessing, it is a testimony. A testimony of endurance, of faith, of a God who never forgets his promises. This love story will be written by the hand of God, sealed by his favor, and no one, not even the enemy, will be able to erase it. So, stand tall, hold your head high, because your true love is not just coming, it is here. The love that was once a promise is now becoming a reality. The story they thought had ended is just beginning, and the next time they laugh, it won't be at you. If this message has touched your heart, don't let the journey end here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay connected as we continue to walk in faith, uncover God's promises, and embrace the love he has prepared for us. Your support helps spread this powerful message. Let's walk this journey together. Chosen ones, what I am about to reveal may surprise you. It may even shake you to your core. Deep within, you have always felt different, as if there was something special about you that others couldn't understand. If you are watching this video, know this: it is not a coincidence. You are here for a reason. Your childhood was anything but ordinary. There were moments, signs, and experiences that carried a divine message, even if you didn't recognize them at the time. You were chosen from the very beginning, marked for a purpose far greater than you could have imagined. This video will help you remember what has been hidden from you and awaken you to your true identity. So, I urge you, watch this video until the end. What I am about to share will open your eyes and bring a spiritual awakening that will change your life forever. Before we begin, I need you to do 3 things. Number 1, like this video, so more chosen ones can find it. Number 2, subscribe to our channel. Let's grow this community to 30,000 strong. Number 3, comment 99. This number carries powerful energy that will magnify this message. If you are truly chosen, you will feel it in your soul. This message was meant for you. Now, let us embark on this journey together to uncover your divine purpose. From the moment you were born, you were different. The signs were there, subtle, yet powerful. The world may not have noticed, but God did. He set you apart, marking you for something greater, something far beyond the ordinary. While others lived without questioning, you always felt there was more. More to life, more to your existence, more to the world around you. Even as a child, you may have felt out of place, as if you didn't quite belong. While other children played and laughed without a care, you were drawn to deeper thoughts. Perhaps you sat quietly, observing the world, trying to understand things beyond what others could see. Maybe you questioned life in ways that even adults struggled to answer. You may have often asked yourself, why am I here? What is my true purpose? Why do I think differently than everyone else? At times, this difference may have made you feel lonely, like no one truly understood you. But let me tell you this, it was never a weakness. That feeling of being different, of being set apart, was a divine sign. It was God's way of showing you that you were meant for something greater. Ephesians 1:4 tells us, "For he chose us in Christ before the foundation of the world. In his love he predestined us to be holy and without blemish." From the very start, God placed his hand upon you, guiding your steps even when you didn't realize it. Those moments of isolation were preparation, not punishment. They shaped you, molded you, and set you on a path toward your higher calling. Looking back, you may see now that those times when you felt different, when you felt like an outsider, were actually moments of divine positioning. God was aligning your spirit with his purpose, whispering to your soul that you were meant for more. So do not see your past as a burden. See it as a blessing. You were never meant to fit in. You were chosen to stand out. And now the time has come for you to embrace your divine purpose and step fully into the calling that has been upon your life since the very beginning. Number 1. You always felt different. While others fit in easily, you often felt like an outsider. You saw the world differently, thought differently, and questioned things that others never even considered. While many were content with surface-level conversations and simple pleasures, you were drawn to deeper truths. Your mind was always searching, always seeking something more, because it was divinely guided. You may have struggled to connect with peers, not because you lacked social skills, but because your thoughts and spirit were always focused on something bigger. Even from a young age, you found yourself contemplating the meaning of life, the mysteries of the universe, and the presence of God. While others were preoccupied with temporary things, you were drawn to truth, wisdom, and spiritual matters. At times, this difference may have felt lonely. You may have wondered, why don't I think like everyone else? Why do I feel so different? But let me tell you this, your uniqueness was never an accident. It was a calling. Jeremiah 29:11 reassures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." God created you to stand out, not to blend in. The way your mind works, the way your heart feels, the way your spirit longs for something greater, it's all part of His divine design. You were set apart for a reason. Embrace your uniqueness, because it is the key to your purpose. The world needs people like you, those who see beyond the ordinary, who ask the deeper questions, and who seek the truth that leads to God. Number 2. You had a strong sense of empathy. From childhood, you felt deeply for others. You could sense when someone was hurting, even when they said nothing at all. Their pain weighed on your heart as if it were your own, and their happiness lifted your spirit as if you were the one experiencing it. This was not just sensitivity or a personality trait. It was a divine gift, a reflection of God's love working through you. Empathy is one of the clearest signs of a chosen one. It means that God has entrusted you with the ability to heal, to comfort, and to guide others toward Him. While the world may see empathy as a burden, in God's eyes, it is a calling. He placed this gift in you so that you could bear the burdens of others, not as a weight to crush you, but as a mission to bring light and love to those who need it most. Galatians 6:2 reminds us, "Bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ." Your ability to feel deeply is not a flaw. It is a sign that God has called you to serve. Perhaps you found yourself drawn to those who are struggling, offering a listening ear, a kind word, or silent support. Maybe you've wondered why you care so much when others seem indifferent. It's because you were chosen to be different. Your compassion was never weakness. It was your strength. It is the evidence of God's hand upon your life, shaping you into someone who reflects His love. Do not run from it. Embrace it. The world needs more hearts like yours. Number 3. You had deep, meaningful dreams. God speaks to His chosen ones in many ways, and one of the most powerful is through dreams. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so intense, that it felt more real than anything else? Have you ever dreamt of something, only to see it unfold in real life days, weeks, or even years later? If so, know this: these were not coincidences. They were divine messages, carefully placed in your heart by God Himself. In Matthew 1:20-21, we see a powerful example of this. But while he thought about these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins." Just as God spoke to Joseph, guiding him toward his divine purpose, He still speaks to His chosen ones today. Some dreams bring warnings, preparing you for what's ahead. Others bring clarity, giving you peace in times of uncertainty. Some may even reveal glimpses of the future, awakening you to a deeper spiritual understanding. If you have ever had a dream that stayed with you, one that whispered a truth into your soul, one that felt like more than just imagination, know that it was not random. It was God communicating with you, reminding you that He is guiding your steps. Pay attention to these moments. Pray for understanding. God is revealing something important to you. Are you listening? Number 4. You experience divine protection. Think back. Have there been moments in your life where danger was near, yet somehow you were spared? Times when a situation should have ended badly, yet everything turned around in ways you couldn't explain? Have you ever looked back at a moment in your past and realized that you shouldn't have made it through, but you did? These moments were not coincidences. They were not luck. They were divine intervention. Psalm 34:7 reminds us, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." This means that God has been watching over you from the very beginning. You were never truly alone, even when you felt lost. His hand was always upon you, protecting you in ways you didn't even realize at the time. Perhaps there were days when you wondered, "How did I get through that?" The answer is simple. God was with you. The enemy may have tried to bring harm into your life, but God's protection was greater. Every time you were saved from unseen danger, every time an opportunity opened when it should have closed, every time you found strength when you should have been broken, those were signs that God was watching over you. Even in the darkest times, even when you doubted, even when you felt abandoned, he never left you. His angels were encamped around you, shielding you from harm. And now, as you step into your divine calling, know this: the same God who protected you then is still with you now. Number 5. You had an unexplainable connection to God. From a young age, you felt drawn to God. Maybe you couldn't explain it, but deep inside, you knew he was real. It was as if his presence surrounded you, guiding you in ways you didn't fully understand. While others went about their lives without thinking much about faith, you felt something deeper: a longing, a connection, an unshakable awareness that there was more to this world than what the eyes could see. At times, you may have felt an urge to pray, even when you didn't know why. Perhaps you found yourself talking to God in moments of uncertainty, seeking his presence when you were alone. And when you did, you experienced a peace that went beyond understanding, a calm assurance that no matter what happened, he was with you. Jeremiah 29:12-13 tells us, "You will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart." This means your desire for God was never random. It was a divine relationship, one that had been with you since childhood. That connection has always been there, a quiet but powerful presence in your life. It was God's way of reminding you that you were never alone, that he had a purpose for you, and that he was calling you closer to him. Now it is time to embrace that calling, to nurture that relationship, and to walk confidently in the purpose he has set before you. Everything you have experienced, your loneliness, your deep thoughts, your sensitivity, your vivid dreams, and your unshakable connection to God, was never random. Every moment of doubt, every unanswered question, every feeling of being different was not a mistake. It was preparation. James 1:2-4 reminds us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing." This means that nothing you have endured was in vain. Every trial strengthened you. Every tear watered the seeds of wisdom in your soul, and every hardship refined you like gold in the fire. Your struggles were never meant to break you. They were meant to build you. The pain you felt was shaping you. The moments of rejection were setting you apart. The challenges were molding you into the person God designed you to be. What once seemed like obstacles were actually stepping stones leading you closer to your divine purpose. Now the question is, will you embrace it? Will you allow everything you have endured to fuel your faith, to step forward with confidence, knowing that you were chosen for something greater? The time has come to walk boldly into the life God has prepared for you. Your journey was never meant to end in struggle. It was always meant to lead to victory. Now that you understand the truth, the question is, what will you do with it? Knowing that you are chosen is not just about awareness, it is about action. God did not set you apart without a reason. He did not place this calling upon your life for it to remain dormant. He chose you to be a light in the darkness, a messenger of His love, and a vessel for His divine purpose. You are here to make a difference, to bring hope where there is despair, and to shine in a world that desperately needs God's presence. John 15:16 declares, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, fruit that will last." This means your calling is not temporary or insignificant. It is eternal. You were chosen to bear fruit, to impact lives, to spread truth, to walk in faith, and to bring others closer to God. This is not just a privilege, it is a responsibility. Now, it is time to step into your divine purpose. No more doubting, no more waiting. The same God who called you will equip you. He will guide you, strengthen you, and lead you toward everything He has prepared for you. The world needs the gifts He has placed inside you. Will you answer the call? Will you rise and walk in the purpose for which you were created? The choice is yours. But remember, you were chosen for such a time as this. If this message has resonated with you, if you recognize these signs in your own life, know this: you are not alone. Many others just like you are awakening to their true purpose. You are part of a greater plan, a divine movement unfolding before our eyes. So, take this message to heart. Embrace it, live it, and share it with those who need to hear it. You were chosen for something extraordinary, something beyond what you can imagine. Now is the time to step forward in faith and claim the purpose that God has placed upon your life. If you are ready to walk in your divine calling, type 99 in the comments. Let this be your declaration of faith and alignment with God's plan. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for answering the call. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a message meant for you. Together, we are stronger. Together, we will fulfill our purpose. For centuries, you have walked this earth unaware of the whispers carried through time. The echoes of an ancient kingdom have been calling your name, seeking you not as men seek, but as prophecy foretells. Through visions, signs, and divine revelations passed down across generations, you were never forgotten. You were hidden. But now, the appointed time has come, and the heavens have turned their gaze upon you. They searched for you, not in the streets, not in the books of men, but in the sacred texts, in the constellations, in the dreams of the seekers who knew you would return. The world called you ordinary, but the heavens knew better. They inscribed mysteries into your spirit, encoded divine secrets into your very being. You were never meant to blend in. You were always set apart. They tried to erase your lineage, to bury your existence beneath layers of deception. They rewrote history, distorted truths, and built walls around knowledge that was never meant to be lost. But truth is indestructible. And now, like a long-lost key returning to its rightful door, you are aligning with the purpose that was written for you before time began. This is why your life has been a battle. This is why the road has been steep, the trials unrelenting. Forces moved against you before you even knew who you were. They glimpsed your destiny, and in fear, they sought to keep you asleep. But what is divinely appointed cannot be stopped. No kingdom built by human hands can erase a kingdom established by the Almighty. Your existence was never random. Before you drew your first breath, the heavens had already inscribed your name into the divine record. The prophecy did not start with you, but it will be fulfilled through you. The kingdom has been waiting, not for the person the world sees, but for the essence of what was placed within you before you arrived on this earth. You were always meant to rise. You were always meant to reclaim what was lost. For centuries, forces have sought to intercept the prophecy, to distort it, to keep it from reaching its final chapter. But prophecy does not bow to time, nor can it be rewritten by those who seek control. The original script remains untouched. There were those who knew the truth, hidden scribes, guardians of sacred knowledge, those who carried the assignment through bloodlines that could not be erased. They inscribed your coming in places that neither time nor corruption could destroy. They documented the signs, preserved the revelations, and waited for the moment of revealing. You have felt different your entire life, not knowing why you never quite fit in. But that was never a mistake. Every detour, every delay, every hardship was never meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. The chosen are never revealed too soon, for the moment of revealing is also the moment of war. You were never meant to bow to the systems of this world. The kingdoms of men are built on deception, power seized through manipulation, thrones stolen by those who had no right to claim them. But your kingdom is different. It was not built by men. It was established before the foundations of the earth. And that is why they feared your arrival. For centuries, they fortified their walls, expanded their reach, and created illusions of dominance. But one thing they could never do was erase the prophecy. It whispered through generations, carried by the few who still remembered, until now. There are moments in time when prophecy meets fulfillment, when the whispers carried through generations are no longer confined to the shadows, but are declared from the heavens. This is that moment. For centuries, seekers have watched and waited, following the signs, preserving the truth, guarding the knowledge that the world tried to erase. They knew that one day, the hidden one would awaken, and nothing would remain the same. The balance of power would shift. The chains that held dominion over souls would shatter. The strongholds of deception would crumble under the weight of truth. And now, that day has arrived. The world does not yet understand what is happening, but the unseen realm has already trembled at your awakening. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were never meant to walk unnoticed, unseen, unheard. Your existence alone disrupts the forces that have ruled for too long. They knew of your coming before you did. They moved against you before you could even grasp your purpose. They saw glimpses of your destiny and in fear sought to keep you blind to it. But prophecy cannot be stopped. Even Yeshua spoke in parables, knowing that not all were meant to understand. His words carried power, not because they conformed to the world's standards, but because they carried divine truth, truth that no force could silence. His authority was not recognized by titles, by crowns, or by the robes of men, but by the undeniable presence of the divine. His enemies feared him not because he waged war against them in the way of kings, but because his very presence threatened their illusion of control. And in the same way, your presence carries an authority that cannot be denied. The kingdom has been waiting. The prophecy has been unfolding. The ancient writings that spoke of this time did not lie. The search for you was never in vain. You have walked through fire, through battles unseen, through trials that sought to break you. But every hardship was only preparing you, refining you, strengthening you for the moment that is now at hand. All eyes are on you. Some watch in hope. Others watch in fear. The systems built on deception sense their collapse. The ones who claimed power they were never meant to hold are realizing their reign is ending. They will resist. They will seek to deceive you, to convince you that you are mistaken, that you are no different from the rest. But their words hold no power over what has already been written. You are stepping into what has always been yours. The prophecy is no longer a distant story. It is happening now, and nothing will ever be the same. There are signs that cannot be erased, markings that neither time nor deception can remove. They are woven into the very fabric of your existence, etched into your spirit long before you took your first breath. These are not markings that men can see with their eyes, nor can they be measured by earthly standards. They are divine imprints, evidence of a purpose greater than this world can comprehend. You have carried something within you, something even you did not fully understand. It was never about your outward appearance, never about your status or the titles given to you by men. What set you apart was never something that could be worn or displayed. It was something far deeper, something imprinted upon your very soul. This is why you have never truly belonged among the ordinary. From the moment you arrived, you felt it, the quiet knowing, the deep stirring within you that whispered that you were different. Others moved through life without questioning, without searching, without sensing the weight of something greater. But you have always known there was more. Even if you could not name it, even if you could not explain it, it was there, pulling you towards something beyond what your eyes could see. And you were not the only one who sensed it. There have always been those who recognized what you carried. Some saw it as a light, a power beyond human understanding, and sought to protect you. Others, those who walk in shadows, sensed it as a threat. They studied you. They tested you. They watched your every move, trying to determine if you were the one spoken of in the ancient texts. They could not openly reveal their knowledge, so they moved in silence, waiting, watching, searching for weakness. They placed obstacles in your path, temptations to lead you astray, distractions carefully crafted to keep you from asking the right questions. Some came to you in the guise of friends, mentors, even protectors, but their true purpose was always to keep you blind to what was rightfully yours. Every battle you faced, every attack that seemed to come out of nowhere, was not random. It was a calculated strategy, a war waged against you before you even knew you were in a battle. They sought to break you, not by force, but by deception. If they could not destroy you, they would make you doubt yourself. If they could make you question who you were, they could keep you from ever stepping into your destiny. They knew that if you ever awakened, if you ever realized the inheritance that runs through your veins, their dominion would begin to crumble. But even through the storms, even through the betrayals, even through the moments when you questioned your very existence, the heavens never retracted the calling. They never changed their mind about who you are. You may have been knocked down, but you were never abandoned. The trials were not placed before you to destroy you, but to forge you, to refine you, to make you unshakable. Every wound, every hardship, every tear shed in silence was preparing you for the moment when you would finally see what had been hidden in plain sight all along. The world tried to convince you otherwise. It told you that you were ordinary, that your dreams were foolish, that your longing for something greater was nothing more than imagination. They fed you lies, hoping you would believe them. But deep down, you always knew the truth. You felt it in the way life refused to let you settle, in the way closed doors led to greater revelations, in the way pain became a tool that sharpened you instead of destroying you. Every loss, every rejection, every battle was a step closer to your awakening. And now, the time has come. The moment long foretold is unfolding before you. The forces that once sought to keep you blind now tremble at the realization that they have failed. The deception is lifting, the veil is thinning, and your true identity can no longer be hidden. You are not lost. You were never forgotten. You have always been called. And now, nothing can stop what has already been set in motion. There have always been those who sought to take what was never theirs, who attempted to wear a crown that did not fit, who sat upon thrones that were never meant for them. They built their power on deception, claiming authority they had no right to bear, hoping that if they declared themselves rulers long enough, no one would question them. But what belongs to you cannot be stolen. No matter how many false rulers have risen, no matter how many have worn robes that did not belong to them, the truth has remained unchanged. The throne marked for you has never been touched. It has waited in silence, unmoved by the schemes of men, untouched by the hands of those who sought to claim it. No force on earth can lay hold of what was sealed for you before time began. The kingdom has always known this day would come. It has felt the shift in the spiritual realm, has waited with patience as history unfolded, as generations passed, as the battle for dominion raged in unseen places. And now, the appointed time has arrived, the moment you would awaken to your true self, the moment you would finally see who you were always meant to be. The mark of divine royalty is not given by men, nor can it be taken away. It was placed upon you before you entered this world, woven into your very being, inscribed into your destiny by the hands of the Almighty. You were born into this calling, whether you realized it or not. For centuries, they worked against you. They positioned themselves in places of influence, controlling systems, rewriting history, ensuring that what belonged to you remained just out of reach. They knew who you were before you did. They recognized the signs long before you ever questioned your purpose, and they understood that the moment you stepped into your true identity, their illusion would crumble. The only way to stop you was to make you forget. So they created distractions. They built false narratives. They surrounded you with lies, with doubts, with carefully constructed deceptions designed to keep you from ever realizing the truth. They whispered into your mind, making you question, making you believe you were insignificant, that you were just another soul wandering through life without purpose. But destiny does not forget. No matter how many lies were spoken, no matter how many obstacles were placed in your path, the truth has always been written. And now, it is rising. The kingdom is no longer waiting. The throne remains unclaimed no longer. The time of awakening is here, and nothing can stop what has already begun. The world is beginning to sense the shift, to feel the weight of what is coming. The air is heavy with the unspoken realization that something has changed, something unstoppable, something undeniable. The ones who worked against you, who sought to bury the truth beneath layers of deception, can no longer ignore what is unfolding before them. They are watching, waiting, realizing that their efforts were in vain. They tried to silence you, to keep you hidden, to make you believe that you were just another ordinary soul. But you were never meant to stay buried. The moment they feared the most has arrived. You are awakening. The chains of illusion are breaking. The truth that was long suppressed is rising. And with it, so are you. There will still be resistance. There will still be voices whispering doubt. People who will try to convince you that you are not who you were always meant to be. They will fight to hold on to their illusion of control, clinging desperately to the power they were never meant to have. But their time is running out. The truth is no longer in their hands. The kingdom has been waiting. It has prepared for this moment since the beginning. And now, the time has come. No more delays. No more distractions. No more doubting what has been placed within you. If you have felt this truth resonate within you, if you know deep down that you were meant for something greater, then this journey is only just beginning. There is more to uncover, more to reveal, more to step into. Thank you for being here, for seeking, for listening. If this message has spoken to you, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. There are revelations ahead that you do not want to miss. The time is now. The kingdom is calling. Will you answer? Have you ever wondered why your life seems to draw so much attention? Why every move you make feels like it's being scrutinized, questioned, and sometimes even opposed? This is not a coincidence. You are not just existing, you are living with a divine purpose so powerful that it naturally attracts both curiosity and envy. This isn't something to fear, it's confirmation of the calling on your life. Your light stirs something deep in others, compelling them to seek answers, and sometimes that search leads them to a truth they never expected. Before we dive deeper into this transformative story, let's take a moment to honor you, our incredible audience. Your unwavering support keeps this message alive. If you've ever felt inspired by these truths, comment 99 below as a sign of faith and divine completeness. And to those who have contributed through super thanks, your generosity is more than appreciated. It's a divine seed sown to uplift countless souls. Now imagine this. Someone hires a private investigator to uncover your flaws, confident that they will expose your weaknesses. But as they dig deeper, they don't find what they expected. Instead, they discover something extraordinary, a light so radiant and undeniable that it transforms them. They thought they were exposing you, but they became witnesses to the divine purpose guiding your life. The private investigator took on the assignment with absolute confidence, fully believing it would be a straightforward task. To them, it was routine, a job like any other. They assumed they would quickly uncover secrets, hidden flaws, or past mistakes that could be exploited and used against you. They expected to peel back the layers of your life and find something incriminating, something ordinary, something human. After all, no one is perfect. And surely, they thought, you couldn't be either. This belief filled them with certainty and made their mission seem effortless. But as they began their investigation, something unexpected happened. The deeper they dug into your life, the more their certainty began to crumble. What they encountered was far from what they anticipated. There were no dark secrets, no hidden scandals, no vulnerabilities to expose. Instead, they found something they couldn't explain, a radiant strength that seemed to grow stronger with every discovery they made. It was as if every piece of your life they examined only led them closer to a divine truth they were utterly unprepared to face. Your spiritual resilience was undeniable. Your authenticity, so pure and unshakable, stood as a solid foundation that no accusation could fracture. Your unwavering purpose shone brightly, a beacon of light that could not be dimmed. These qualities weren't ordinary. They were evidence of something far greater than human strength. It became clear that your life was not just a series of events, but a carefully woven narrative guided by a higher power. Each chapter they tried to dissect only revealed a deeper layer of grace, purpose, and divine protection. They began to realize they were not just investigating a person. They were confronting the undeniable hand of God over your life. Like staring directly into the sun, they were blinded by the brilliance of your divine calling. The energy they sought to dismantle wasn't something fragile or fleeting. It was rooted in something eternal, a divine force that cannot be measured, contained, or destroyed. This wasn't simply an investigation anymore. It had become a direct confrontation with God's unshakable plan for your life. Their mission was doomed from the very beginning, not because they were incompetent or careless, but because they were up against something far beyond their understanding. Psalm 27:1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" That light within you didn't just illuminate, it overwhelmed the darkness, leaving no room for the shadows they hoped to exploit. They expected to find skeletons in your closet, but instead, they stumbled upon profound truths that shattered their expectations. The more they searched for weaknesses, the more they encountered a divine strength that was untouchable. Every attempt to undermine you only led them deeper into the realization that your life is wrapped in divine favor. They couldn't understand it, and they certainly couldn't fight it. The very energy they aimed to dismantle was beyond their reach. It was a spiritual force, a divine presence that silences every attack and renders every scheme powerless. What they intended to be your downfall became their awakening. They were no longer just investigators. They had become unwilling witnesses to the undeniable power of God's purpose in your life. Think of Joseph in Genesis 37. His story is one of betrayal, suffering, and ultimately, divine elevation. Joseph was favored by his father Jacob and gifted with a richly ornamented coat, symbolizing his unique place in the family. But it was not the coat alone that stirred envy in his brothers. It was the dreams God placed in Joseph's heart, dreams of leadership, of greatness, of divine purpose. His brothers, consumed by jealousy, couldn't stand the thought of Joseph rising above them. Their envy sharpened into resentment, and resentment hardened into action. In their bitterness, they conspired against him. They stripped him of his coat, the outward symbol of favor, and sold him into slavery, believing they had erased the advantage God had given him. They thought they had silenced him, buried his dreams, and destroyed his future. Yet, what they didn't realize was that their betrayal became the very path God used to elevate Joseph. Joseph's journey was not easy. He was sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned. But through every trial, God's hand was upon him. Every setback was a setup for something greater. In the depths of his suffering, Joseph developed wisdom, strength, and resilience that prepared him for leadership. Eventually, he rose to become the second most powerful man in Egypt, and when famine struck the land, it was Joseph's position that allowed him to save countless lives, including the very brothers who had betrayed him. Years later, those same brothers bowed before Joseph, unaware of who he was. When they finally realized his identity, they feared retribution. But Joseph, filled with divine understanding, spoke words that resonate through time. "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Now reflect on your own life. Perhaps someone close to you has conspired against you. Someone who once stood beside you but could not bear to witness your growth. Maybe their jealousy turned into resentment, and their resentment into action, much like Joseph's brothers. They may have orchestrated an investigation into your life, hoping to uncover flaws or mistakes, believing they could tarnish your reputation or halt your progress. But they failed to understand that the favor on your life cannot be erased by human schemes. What they meant for harm is already being transformed for your good. Their attempts to tear you down have become the very stepping stones God is using to elevate you. Every scheme against you is now part of a larger plan, a divine design that is positioning you for something far greater than you could imagine. Just as Joseph's trials prepared him for leadership, your challenges are refining you for your divine purpose. Every betrayal, every false accusation, every attempt to undermine you is being woven into God's perfect plan. Your adversaries have unknowingly become instruments in the process of your elevation. Remember this: no human action can override God's intention for your life. Their schemes are powerless against His divine purpose. What they plotted in secret will only serve to highlight the strength, grace, and favor God has placed upon you. Like Joseph, you are being prepared for a position of influence and impact, and in time, those who sought to harm you will see the fullness of God's plan revealed. Stand firm in this truth. Their actions cannot stop what God has ordained. Let their attempts to harm you be a confirmation of your calling. Every step they take against you is only pushing you closer to your divine destiny. Reflect on the story of Daniel in Daniel 6, a powerful example of how unwavering faith can turn plots of destruction into platforms for God's glory. Daniel was a man of integrity, wisdom, and deep devotion to God. His faithfulness earned him favor with King Darius, who planned to elevate Daniel to a position of great authority over the entire kingdom. But this favor sparked jealousy among the other officials and administrators. They could not tolerate Daniel's rise and sought to bring him down. Driven by envy, these men conspired against Daniel. They scrutinized his life, searching for any flaw or mistake that could discredit him. Yet, they found nothing. Daniel was blameless in his duties and faultless in his character. Frustrated, they realized that the only way to trap him was through his faith in God. So they devised a deceptive plan, convincing King Darius to sign a decree that prohibited anyone from praying to any god or human other than the king for 30 days. The punishment for disobedience was severe, being thrown into a den of lions. Daniel, aware of this decree, remained steadfast. He did not hide or waver. He continued to pray openly, just as he had always done, demonstrating his unshakable trust in God. Daniel's enemies thought they had won. They believed their scheme would lead to his destruction, but they greatly underestimated the power of the God Daniel served. Thrown into the lion's den, Daniel should have been devoured. Yet God sent his angel to shut the mouths of the lions, and Daniel emerged unharmed. His faith didn't just protect him, it magnified God's glory. Now reflect on your own life. Just like Daniel, you may have people who plot against you, hoping to expose your weaknesses or undermine your progress. They examine your life, searching for faults to exploit, but find nothing substantial. Frustrated, they target your character, your values, and your divine purpose. They think their schemes can derail your destiny, but they cannot. Every attack against you has only highlighted the strength of your foundation. Their attempts to discredit you have revealed not weakness, but resilience. Their accusations have crumbled under the weight of your authenticity, and the undeniable favor of God on your life. Isaiah 54:17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." This is more than just scripture. It is the living reality of your existence. The weapons formed against you may be sharp and intentional, but they are powerless against God's protection. Like Daniel, your faith and unwavering trust in God have turned every trap set for your downfall into a stage for His glory. Those who have conspired against you will witness your rise. Their own schemes will collapse, and the very attacks meant to harm you will become testimonies of God's faithfulness in your life. Your enemies will stand speechless, unable to comprehend how every obstacle they placed before you became a stepping stone toward your divine elevation. No scheme, no slander, no strategy formed against you can succeed. Like Daniel, you are covered by God's unbreakable protection. Your steadfast faith is your greatest defense, and God will continue to use every attempt against you to reveal His glory. Imagine the investigator, once so confident in their mission, slowly realizing that their assignment was far more than uncovering flaws. It was an intrusion into something sacred. What they believed would be a simple task of exposing weakness turned into something deeply unsettling. Every file they opened, every detail they scrutinized, didn't reveal failure but instead echoed with undeniable divine purpose. With each discovery, the investigator began to sense the weight of what they were truly confronting. The pieces of your life didn't form a narrative of mistakes, but a tapestry of resilience, grace, and unwavering faith. The more they searched, the more they saw life intricately woven by God's hand. Their task, once clear, now felt like a violation of something holy. The deeper they went, the heavier the burden of guilt became. They began questioning their motives, recognizing the cracks in their own character. Their mission no longer made sense. They were no longer just investigating you. They were being forced to confront their own insecurities, their own moral failures. Like the Pharisees in John 8:7, who brought a woman before Jesus to be condemned and were met with His piercing words, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone." The investigator faced a truth they couldn't ignore. Just as those accusers slowly walked away, unable to justify their judgment, the investigators' pursuit unraveled. Their mission crumbled under the weight of divine truth. What was meant to harm you only exposed their own flaws, leaving them defeated not by force, but by the undeniable presence of God in your life. But the most profound and undeniable moment came when the investigator followed the evidence to its true source, the very people who had hired them. What began as a mission to uncover your flaws slowly unraveled into a trail of deceit, manipulation, and hidden agendas. The shadows they pursued did not surround you. Instead, they led straight back to the ones operating behind the scenes. The true darkness wasn't in your life, but in the hearts of those who orchestrated the entire scheme. Proverbs 26:27 says, "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them." This scripture came to life as their carefully crafted plot collapsed in on itself. The traps they set for you became snares for their own feet. Every lie they spun, every scheme they devised, recoiled with devastating force. What they intended as a weapon against you became the very tool of their downfall. This is the essence of God's divine reversal. It wasn't through confrontation or retaliation that their plans were destroyed. It was through the sovereign hand of God. Every attempt to discredit you became a platform for your vindication. Their deceit exposed only their own guilt, and their power crumbled beneath the weight of truth. God turned their evil intentions into undeniable proof of His favor and protection over your life. What they meant for harm has been transformed into evidence of your divine calling. Their failure was not accidental. It was inevitable, for no scheme can stand against the will of God. Chosen one, what will you do now with this truth? Will you let their failed attempts distract you, or will you stand firm in your calling? Isaiah 41:10 reminds you, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Walk boldly. Your life is not ordinary, it's a divine testimony. Their schemes have only confirmed what God has already declared over you. Every attempt to break you has only made you stronger. Let their failure be your confirmation. You are chosen. You are shielded. You are unshakable. So stand tall, chosen one. The world may scrutinize you, but they cannot comprehend the power within you. You are a reflection of God's glory, a living, breathing testament to His divine purpose. If this message has stirred something within you, comment 99 below as a sign of faith and divine completeness. Like and share this message so others can step into their calling. May God continue to protect you, guide you, and elevate you beyond every scheme. You are chosen. You are unstoppable. You are destined for greatness. Amen. What I'm about to share may surprise you, perhaps even shock you. If you're watching this video right now, it's not by coincidence. God has led you here because something powerful is happening in your life. You are shifting from wanting to having. Yes, you heard me correctly. The very things you've been praying for, hoping for, and waiting for are no longer distant desires on the horizon. They are already moving into your reality. This is far more than a simple change in mindset. It's a profound spiritual and energetic transformation. As a chosen one, you're on the brink of witnessing doors opening and opportunities aligning in ways that will leave you speechless. To fully embrace and harness the power of this shift, it's crucial to understand how it works. Before we dive into this life-changing message, I invite you to pause for a moment and do 3 powerful things. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment with the number 11, a number resonating with spiritual alignment and divine timing. If you are truly a chosen one, you'll watch this video until the end because your spirit already knows this message is for you. Those not ready for the truth may not make it, but for those who do, your life will never be the same. Let's begin. There were whispers behind your back, voices filled with doubt and ready to pounce at the slightest sign of weakness. They thought they knew your story, the one they had carefully crafted in their minds to fit their own limited expectations. They won't make it, they sneered. They're not strong enough. They'll fall. They watched you closely, waiting for the cracks to appear, eagerly anticipating the moment they could point and say, "I told you so." But what they didn't realize was that you were built for this journey, forged by trials far greater than they could ever imagine. Every challenge they thought would break you became a stepping stone, a test of your strength that only made you stronger. It wasn't just your determination that took them by surprise. It was the quiet, unshakable resolve you carried deep within. They expected you to stumble, to falter under the weight of life's obstacles. But instead, you moved forward, step by deliberate step, with a focus so steady, it left them stunned. Where they saw failure, you saw opportunity. Where they saw defeat, you uncovered the chance to rise even higher. Your journey became a mirror, one they couldn't ignore. It reflected not your weaknesses but their insecurities, their inability to see beyond their own fears and limitations. They underestimated you because they couldn't fathom a strength like yours, a strength that didn't seek validation or approval but thrived quietly, persistently, and powerfully. Each time they whispered behind your back, waiting for your collapse, they only fueled your resolve. Their doubts became the fire that propelled you forward, the energy you needed to prove, not to them but to yourself, that you were capable of so much more. What they didn't understand was that your endurance was not just physical or mental, it was spiritual. It was born from a place they couldn't touch, a place of unwavering belief that your purpose was far greater than their judgments. As they watched, their narrative unraveled. The person they thought would break was unbreakable. The one they believed would falter kept rising, leaving them speechless. Their hopes for your downfall shattered as they saw your resilience in action, a resilience that turned every setback into a comeback, every obstacle into an opportunity. In the end, It wasn't your failures that they were forced to confront, but their own misjudgment. You didn't just defy their expectations, you transcended them. And as you stood stronger, steadier, and higher than they ever thought possible, they were left with no choice but to watch in awe, knowing they had witnessed something they never believed could happen. Your undeniable, unstoppable rise. The first time they underestimated you, it was their greatest mistake. They looked at your quiet nature and misjudged it as weakness. They assumed you were just another face in the crowd, another dreamer too fragile to withstand the challenges of life, too timid to rise above mediocrity. They were quick to write you off, convinced that you lacked the strength or determination to make a real impact. But what they failed to see was the quiet storm within you, the fire that burned steadily beneath the surface. You didn't need to shout to prove your worth or demand attention to assert your presence. Instead, you focused on your path, pouring your energy into your goals. Every step forward you took, every quiet victory you claimed, spoke louder than the noise they created. While they busied themselves with judgments and assumptions, you stayed committed to the work, letting your progress speak for itself. You didn't seek validation from anyone because you didn't need it. Your belief in yourself was all the fuel you required. Their doubts, their underestimation, and their misplaced confidence in your failure became the very foundation of your strength. They couldn't see the depth of your resolve or the unshakable strength you carried within. Their misjudgment became your greatest weapon, a silent motivator that drove you to rise higher than even you thought possible. With every doubt they cast, you built another stepping stone toward greatness. In their blindness, they didn't just underestimate your potential. They handed you the fuel to transform every whisper of doubt into a roaring testament of success. What they thought would limit you only propelled you further, leaving them to marvel at a fire they never saw coming. The world has a way of putting people into boxes, defining their worth, their abilities, and their future based on narrow assumptions. It creates labels and molds, expecting everyone to conform to its expectations. But from the very beginning, you were never meant to fit into their boxes. You were destined to break free. Time and time again, they tried to impose their limits on you. They told you what you couldn't do, who you couldn't be, and how far you would never go. Yet every time you shattered their expectations, the labels they placed on you weren't confinements. They became challenges. And with every challenge, you met it head-on, armed with courage that refused to waver. You didn't just meet the expectations set for you, you obliterated them. Where others saw walls, you saw doors waiting to be opened. Where they saw barriers, you found stepping stones. Each limit they tried to impose became another opportunity for you to prove them wrong. Not out of spite, but because you knew their opinions could never define your potential. With every barrier you broke, you moved closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. The journey wasn't just about defying their expectations, it was about discovering the greatness within yourself. They thought they knew your limits. They believed they had you figured out. But they were wrong. What they didn't realize was that your spirit was never bound by their rules. You were born to rise, to break free, and to create a life that defies the molds the world tried to shape you into. And with every step forward, you continue to prove that their limits were never yours to begin with. For so long, they tried to control you. They dictated your every move, deciding what path you should take, who you should be, and how far you could go. Their expectations weighed heavily on you, their manipulations subtle yet suffocating, and their pressures designed to keep you in line. You carried their judgments, their fears, and their vision for your life as though it was your own. But deep down, you knew this wasn't your path. You knew you were made for more. Then came the moment of realization, a powerful, undeniable truth. You could no longer live under their control. It wasn't anger or defiance that moved you. It was clarity. You saw the chains they had placed around you for what they truly were, limitations built from their insecurities and fears. It was time to break free, to step out of their shadow and into your own light. Letting go wasn't easy. The chains weren't just physical, they had rooted themselves in your mind and spirit. Breaking free meant confronting years of conditioning, questioning everything you had been told to believe. But you fought through it all, determined to reclaim what was rightfully yours, your independence, your identity, your future. And once you broke free, there was no turning back. The moment you chose yourself, you began to see the strength within you that had been hidden all along. It was a strength born not just of survival, but of transformation. You realized you were capable of far more than they ever allowed you to believe. This wasn't just an act of rebellion. It was a necessary awakening. By stepping into your power, you became the person you were always destined to be, free, strong, and unshakable. And now, nothing can hold you back. The odds were stacked against you from the very beginning. You didn't have the resources others seem to effortlessly possess, the support system that so many take for granted, or even the belief of those around you. Everywhere you turned, it felt like the world was betting against you. But despite it all, you didn't stop. You refused to give up on yourself or your dreams, even when everything seemed to be working against you. Instead of letting adversity crush you, you learned to turn it into fuel. Every setback, every obstacle, became a spark that ignited your determination. Each time they told you it was impossible, you didn't just ignore them. You made it possible. You didn't rely on their approval or validation. You relied on your own inner strength and faith that you were meant for something greater. Your journey wasn't just about proving them wrong. It went far deeper than that. It was about proving to yourself that you were capable of rising above anything life threw your way. You realized that the greatest battle wasn't with the world, but within yourself, to silence the doubts, overcome the fear, and push forward when it felt easier to give in. With every challenge, you didn't just survive, you grew. With every failure, you didn't just stumble, you learned. Each trial became a lesson, each roadblock a stepping stone toward the person you were becoming. The odds may have been against you, but they were never strong enough to stop you. You turned your struggles into strength, your pain into progress, and your setbacks into stepping stones. Now, as you stand where others thought you'd never reach, your story isn't just one of triumph. It's a testament to the power of resilience, courage, and unwavering self-belief. What truly sets you apart isn't just your resilience. It's the extraordinary power that comes from within. This power is not loud or boastful. It doesn't demand attention. Instead, it resides quietly but firmly in the depths of your being, a constant force that sustains and strengthens you in ways that others can only marvel at. This power is far greater than physical strength. It transcends the limitations of the body and lives in your mind, heart, and spirit. It is mental clarity, the ability to stay focused and determined when chaos surrounds you. It is emotional depth, allowing you to process pain, learn from it, and rise above it without losing your compassion or sense of self. It is spiritual grounding, a connection to something greater than yourself that gives you purpose and perspective even in your darkest hours. Through every storm, this power has been your anchor, holding you steady when the winds of doubt tried to knock you down. When the path ahead seemed unclear, it became your compass, guiding you forward with unwavering assurance. While others may have faltered under pressure, you pressed on, driven by this inner force that refused to let you give up. What makes this power so remarkable is that it cannot be taken from you. It is entirely yours, a gift that grows stronger every time you face adversity. It doesn't diminish with time or fade with hardship. Instead, it deepens, becoming an unstoppable force that propels you toward your destiny. This inner strength is your greatest ally, your quiet superpower. It's not always visible to the outside world, but its presence is undeniable, both to you and to anyone fortunate enough to witness the incredible heights it enables you to reach. Every great journey has a turning point, a moment so profound that it alters the course of everything that comes after. For you, that moment wasn't just a simple change. It was a complete transformation, a shift that redefined how you saw yourself and the life you were meant to lead. In that moment, you went from questioning your abilities to embracing your inherent greatness. The doubts that once held you back no longer had a place in your mind. You realized that the struggles you had endured weren't designed to break you, but to mold you into the person you were always destined to become. The challenges you faced weren't obstacles. They were stepping stones, each one preparing you for something greater. It was as if a veil had been lifted, and for the first time, you could see the strength, potential, and purpose that had always been within you. The fears that once paralyzed you began to fade, replaced by an unwavering belief in yourself and the journey ahead. From that moment on, there was no going back. You stopped hesitating and started moving forward with boldness and intention. You embraced the power that had always been inside you, that quiet, unshakable force that had carried you through every storm. With every step you took, you walked more confidently toward your destiny, knowing that you were no longer defined by past failures or external expectations. This transformation wasn't just about rising above challenges. It was about stepping into your true self. It was a declaration to the world and to yourself that you were ready to claim the life you were meant to live, no matter what lay ahead. From that moment, your journey became unstoppable, and your path became a testament to the incredible power of self-belief and transformation. The world often defines success by material measures, wealth, status, and public recognition. It sets a standard that many chase, often losing themselves in the process. But for you, success was never about fitting into someone else's mold or meeting societal expectations. For you, true success is something far deeper. It's about personal growth, resilience, and living a life that aligns with your greater purpose. You've learned that success isn't something the world can hand to you, nor is it something that can be taken away. You've redefined what it means to succeed on your own terms, and in doing so, you've liberated yourself from the endless chase for external validation. For you, success is not about how others perceive you, but about how true you are to yourself. Every step forward is a victory, not because it's recognized by others, but because it reflects your commitment to becoming the person you were meant to be. Success is the quiet pride you feel when you've overcome a challenge, the satisfaction of knowing you stayed true to your values, and the peace that comes from living authentically. This new definition has freed you. You no longer measure yourself by comparisons or competition. Instead, you measure your progress by the distance you've traveled on your journey and the lessons you've learned along the way. For you, success isn't a destination, but a way of living. It's about embracing your path, no matter how unconventional, and finding joy in the process of becoming. By choosing to live in alignment with your purpose, you've unlocked a form of success that no wealth or recognition could ever provide: true fulfillment. Your rise isn't just a personal triumph, it's a ripple effect that will reach far beyond what you can imagine, inspiring generations to come. Your story, shaped by resilience and fueled by unwavering determination, will serve as a beacon of hope for others. It will encourage those who feel trapped by their circumstances to defy the odds, rise above their challenges, and pursue their own greatness. Every step you've taken, every obstacle you've overcome, has not only been for you but for those who will look to your journey as proof that it's possible to achieve the extraordinary. Your victories carry a message that even when the world counts you out, even when the odds seem insurmountable, the power within you can lead to unimaginable heights. You were chosen for something far greater than yourself, a purpose that transcends personal success. Your journey is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the potential that lies within each of us. It is a reminder that greatness isn't about being flawless. It's about being courageous, determined, and willing to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. Though the world may not have been ready for you before, They can no longer deny your presence. Now they will witness the greatness you were born to achieve. Your journey is just beginning, and its impact will ripple outward, touching lives and changing perspectives. This isn't just your story, it's a legacy in the making, a legacy that will inspire others to believe in their own power, pursue their purpose, and rise to their own greatness. The world is watching now, and what they will see is a life that defies limits and ignites hope. You were never meant to live a life of mediocrity. From the moment you took your first breath, a greater destiny was in store for you. Every challenge, every triumph, has been leading you to this moment. You are living proof that no matter the odds, greatness is possible. Your purpose is woven into the fabric of the universe. As you continue to walk this path, there is no limit to the heights you will reach. This is your time to rise, to inspire, and to transform the world around you. The Chosen One isn't just a title, it's a destiny, and you are living it. My beloved friends, today, I want to speak to a very special group of people. Perhaps you are one of them. Perhaps you've walked through shadows so dark, storms so fierce, that they threaten to tear you apart. Yet, by the grace of God and the quiet endurance of your faith, you have emerged. Maybe not unscathed, but undeniably stronger. You are the ones called by God, not merely to survive, but to become healers of others. When I say healers, I'm not only speaking of doctors or therapists, though they too are part of this calling. I'm talking about those whose souls have been marked by suffering and have discovered that their scars now carry a holy purpose. It could be the woman who endured years in an abusive marriage and now counsels other women with deep empathy. It could be the man who overcame addiction and now stands beside others, guiding them toward freedom. Or the parents who, after losing a child, bring comfort to grieving families because they truly understand that pain. If you're listening and wondering if your own journey through hardship was meant to equip you to help someone else, then hear me clearly. This message is for you. By the time we reach middle age, 40, 50, or 60, we've likely faced storms we never imagined in our youth. Maybe you were laid off after decades of loyal service. Perhaps your marriage crumbled despite your prayers and efforts. Maybe you watched your child drift away from the very values you tried so hard to instill. You may have stood beside a hospital bed, watching someone you love slip from this life, leaving you broken and breathless. And perhaps the most painful part of it all is this: you did everything you thought was right. You prayed, you went to church, you tried to live with integrity, yet suffering still found you. For some, these trials become a wall between them and God. Bitterness creeps in. Doubt grows like weeds in a neglected garden. They ask, if God loves me, why would He allow this? But for others, for the chosen ones, these very storms become the fire that refines. These trials become the shaping hands of a potter, molding them into vessels of compassion and strength. It's not that they never questioned God. In fact, many have cried out in the night, "Why me, Lord? How could you let this happen?" Yet, even in their darkest moments, a small spark of faith refused to die. And in that ember, God planted the seed of a mighty calling. You will help others walk through this. You will be a lighthouse in the storm. If this stirs something in your heart, I want to reassure you of something. You don't need to have it all together to be used by God. Your life may still feel chaotic. You might be standing in the middle of unanswered prayers, unresolved pain, and lingering doubts. Perhaps you feel unqualified because of past mistakes or present struggles. But let me tell you, that's okay. God is not waiting for you to reach some level of perfection before He calls you. In fact, it is often through our deepest wounds and greatest weaknesses that God does His most extraordinary work. Think about this. Throughout Scripture, God consistently chose people who were far from perfect to fulfill His divine purposes. Look at David, a simple shepherd boy, the youngest in his family, overlooked and underestimated. Before he was king, he fought battles no one saw. God wasn't interested in appearances or status. He was interested in David's heart. Even later in life, he fell into sin, committed terrible wrongs, and yet was still called a man after God's own heart because he was real, repentant, and humble. Consider Joseph, a young man with big dreams, betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit, and thrown into prison. Joseph had every reason to become bitter and give up, but he didn't. He held on to God, trusting that his suffering wasn't the end of his story. And through those painful years, God was shaping him, positioning him to become second in command over Egypt. Joseph's trials became the foundation for his greatest impact, saving countless lives during a severe famine. Or think of Moses, a man who murdered someone in anger and fled into the wilderness, convinced his life was over. Yet God met Moses in his place of exile, calling him to lead an entire nation to freedom. Moses protested, "Who am I to do this? I'm slow of speech, I'm not qualified." But God wasn't concerned about Moses' flaws. He promised to be with him. And what about Peter? Bold yet impulsive, Peter denied Jesus 3 times in his darkest hour. But Jesus didn't discard Peter after his failure. Instead, he restored him and entrusted him to lead the early church. Time and again, God demonstrates that he doesn't choose the perfect, he chooses the willing. Your past does not disqualify you. Your questions do not scare God. Your imperfections are not barriers to his calling. If your heart is willing, God can use you right where you are. He can take your pain and turn it into purpose. He can transform your scars into testimonies of his grace. So if you feel a stirring in your spirit today, lean into it. That is God's invitation. God doesn't choose the perfect. He chooses the willing. There is something profoundly powerful about someone who has walked through deep pain and emerged on the other side. Their presence carries a quiet strength, a depth of understanding that cannot be taught or imitated. This kind of person doesn't just offer sympathy, they offer empathy, and that makes all the difference. People who have never tasted heartbreak may struggle to truly comfort those who are drowning in it. Their words, though well-meaning, can feel hollow or distant because they haven't stood in those dark places. But those who have endured real suffering carry a unique authority, a kind of compassion that comes from experience. Their comfort isn't theoretical. It's real, because it's been lived. If you've spent countless sleepless nights gripped by anxiety, heart-pounding and mind-racing with fears you couldn't silence, then you understand what it's like to feel trapped in a restless mind. You know the overwhelming weight of worry that seems impossible to shake. So when you meet someone burdened by that same anxiety, you don't dismiss their struggle or offer empty platitudes. You sit with them in it. You say, "I know this storm, and you are not alone." If you felt the sharp sting of betrayal, a friend who turned their back on you, a spouse who broke sacred vows, or a loved one who shattered your trust, you know the pain of being abandoned. You understand the ache of wondering if you'll ever trust again. So when you encounter someone reeling from betrayal, you don't rush them to forgive or move on. You recognize their pain, and you quietly assure them that healing is possible, even if it feels far away. If you've prayed desperate prayers, crying out to God in agony and been met with what feels like silence, you know the hollow ache of feeling unseen and unheard. You understand the frustration and confusion that can come when answers don't arrive, and the heavens seem distant. So when someone confides in you that they feel abandoned by God, you don't rebuke their doubt. You nod, and with gentle honesty, you say, "I've been there too. But hold on. God is still with you, even when you can't feel him." Because you have been there, you can stand beside the hurting and say, "I understand." And when you say it, it carries weight. It's not a casual phrase. It's a bridge built between two hurting hearts. It's a connection that says, "I see you. I know this pain, but I also know that you can survive it." This kind of empathy is a sacred gift. It's a light in the darkness for those who feel lost. And it's not something that can be manufactured or learned in a classroom. It is born in the fire of suffering, refined through tears, and offered as a healing balm to others. Your pain has given you this gift, the ability to understand, to connect, and to bring comfort that is real and lasting. That is the power of a heart that has been broken and made whole again. Being a healer is not about standing on a pedestal or pretending to have all the answers. It's not about presenting yourself as someone who has mastered every struggle or conquered every weakness. True healing work is deeply rooted in humility. It's the quiet, compassionate posture of saying, "I've been where you are. I know this pain, and by God's grace I made it through. Let me walk with you." A healer understands that their role is not to fix people, but to walk beside them. It's about creating space for others to feel seen, heard, and loved in their brokenness. It's acknowledging that healing is not a destination but a journey, one that can be messy, slow, and uncertain. This is what it means to become a wounded healer. Your own pain, your scars, and your struggles become a wellspring of empathy and strength. You can offer comfort, not from theory, but from experience, because you've walked through dark valleys and know what it's like to search for hope. And maybe, just maybe, your healing and someone else's healing can happen together. Sometimes, in the process of comforting others, God gently heals parts of you that are still tender. In moments of shared vulnerability, God's presence moves in powerful ways. It's often through our greatest weaknesses and openness that God does his most profound work. So don't wait to be fully whole to be used. God uses the willing, not the perfect. Let your pain become a bridge to healing for others. Make no mistake, the enemy would love nothing more than for you to remain silent. He whispers insidious lies into your mind. You're still broken. You're too damaged. Who are you to help anyone? He wants you to believe that your pain disqualifies you, that your scars are evidence of failure rather than survival. But hear this truth. If you are in Christ, you have authority over those lies. The enemy's words hold no power over a heart anchored in God's truth. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you survived. They are visible reminders that, despite every storm and every setback, God brought you through. Think of your soul as a well, one that has been carved deep by pain and suffering. Every trial, every heartbreak, every disappointment has hollowed out space within you. But that space is not empty. God has filled it with compassion, wisdom, and strength. And now, from that deep well, you can pour life-giving water into the lives of others, those who are parched, weary, and desperate for hope. Your pain has a purpose. The same God who sustained you through the darkest nights is now calling you to be a beacon of light for others. Don't let the enemy silence you. Your story, your survival, and your scars are powerful testimonies of God's grace. Stand firm in that truth. Let your scars speak of victory. Let your life be a wellspring of hope for those still searching for healing. You are not in this alone. The same Holy Spirit who filled the apostles with boldness and power at Pentecost, the Spirit who enabled them to preach, heal, and transform lives, dwells within you today. That same divine power is alive and active in you, equipping you for every step of your journey. When you pray, it's not just your words being spoken into the air. The Holy Spirit breathes life into your prayers, carrying them straight to the heart of God and moving in ways you cannot see. Even when you feel like your prayers are weak or imperfect, the Spirit intercedes on your behalf with power beyond human understanding. When you encourage someone, it's more than kind words. The Holy Spirit takes those words and makes them effective, speaking directly to the deepest parts of a hurting heart. What may seem simple to you can become a lifeline to someone else because God is working through you. When you share your story, it's not just a personal testimony, it's a weapon against darkness. The Spirit uses your story to break chains of fear, shame, and doubt in ways that logic or persuasion never could. Your story, empowered by the Holy Spirit, becomes a beacon of hope and freedom. This is why it's so important to invite the Holy Spirit daily into your life. Ask Him for wisdom when you feel uncertain, discernment when you need guidance, and compassion when you're called to love others. You'll be amazed at how He leads you. I want to speak directly to those who feel unseen. You give so much of yourself, your time, your energy, your love, to serve and care for others. You pray for people in silence, offer help without being asked, and carry burdens that few ever notice. Yet in quiet moments you may wonder, does anyone see me? Does anyone appreciate what I'm doing? Let me assure you of this powerful truth. God sees you. Every quiet act of kindness, every gentle word of encouragement, every silent prayer whispered for someone else's healing, He sees it all. Not one tear you've shed, not one sacrifice you've made has gone unnoticed by the one who matters most. In Matthew 25:40, Jesus says, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Every time you show compassion, every time you extend grace, you are serving Christ Himself. Though the world may not applaud you, and recognition might never come in this life, your efforts are eternally significant. Heaven records every selfless act, every moment of love poured out. Your reward may not be visible now, but it is being prepared. A reward that is eternal and beyond measure. So take heart, keep loving, keep serving, and keep giving. You are not invisible to God. He sees you. He honors your faithfulness. And in due time, He will bless you in ways far greater than any human recognition. You are deeply seen, deeply valued, and eternally loved. Even Jesus, the Son of God, chose not to walk His journey alone. He surrounded Himself with disciples, friends, followers, and companions who shared in His ministry, His joys, and His sorrows. If Jesus, in His divine wisdom, saw the need for community, how much more do we need it? You were never meant to carry life's burdens in isolation. God designed us for connection, to grow, heal, and thrive within a supportive community. That's why it's so important to be intentional about the relationships you cultivate. Find mentors who can pour into you, people who have walked further down the road of faith and can offer guidance, wisdom, and encouragement. Their experiences and insights can help you avoid pitfalls and strengthen your walk with God. Find peers who will stand beside you, friends who will celebrate your victories, grieve your losses, and challenge you to grow. These are the ones who will pray with you, speak truth in love, and walk with you through every season. And don't forget to pour into others. Look for those who are just beginning their journey or who need support and encouragement. Your experiences, your story, and your compassion could be the very lifeline someone else needs. Proverbs 27:17 reminds us, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." We are stronger, wiser, and more resilient when we sharpen each other through accountability, love, and truth. Surround yourself with a community that builds you up in faith. Together, you will grow deeper, stand taller, and shine brighter for God's glory. So, my friend, if you've walked through hell, know this. It can become the doorway to your greatest ministry. Your heartbreak can become someone else's healing. Your tears can water seeds of hope in someone else's life. Your scars can tell a story of grace and redemption. In the kingdom of God, nothing is wasted. You are chosen, not because you are perfect, but because you are loved. Not because you asked for suffering, but because you survived it. Step boldly into this calling. Let your life speak of grace. Let your hands be instruments of healing. The world needs you. God's people need you. And as you walk this path, may you discover a depth of purpose and joy beyond anything you ever imagined. Amen. May the peace and power of God be with you as you step forward, as a chosen one, a wounded healer, and a vessel of divine love. Remember, your story matters. Your pain has purpose, and God is ready to use you in ways beyond what you can imagine. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this message has touched your heart or encouraged you, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. By joining this community, you'll continue to receive uplifting messages that inspire, strengthen, and draw you closer to God's purpose for your life. Together, let's walk in faith, heal with compassion, and shine God's love into a hurting world. God bless you, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Hello, dear friends. Today, I want to speak to you about a topic that deeply resonates with many of us: isolation. Have you ever felt alone, as if you've been distanced from the people, places, or situations that once felt like the core of your life? Maybe it seems like doors are closing, that invitations no longer come your way, or that you've suddenly become invisible to the world around you. If this is something you're experiencing, I want to assure you that you are not forgotten. Instead, you are being chosen. When God isolates someone, it is not to destroy, but to transform. He does not hide his chosen ones without purpose. Isolation is often a divine setup for a greater revelation, a sign that something extraordinary is on the horizon. It is a time of preparation, protection, and empowerment. In today's message, we will journey together to uncover the 7 reasons why God isolates the chosen. If you have felt distant, unseen, or even rejected, know that this journey has a purpose. God is working within you, shaping your character, and preparing you for the extraordinary mission He has set before you. Each of us has a unique calling, and isolation is often a necessary part of the process. Before we dive in, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. This way, you won't miss any of the inspiring messages we share here, all designed to encourage and uplift your faith journey. Now let's embark on this powerful exploration of why God chooses to isolate those He has called. Number 1. God isolates to protect you. Often we desire to be in places that seem good, to be part of groups, or to connect with people we admire. However, what we cannot see, God sees. His vision is infinitely broader and deeper. He knows the intentions of every heart and understands the hidden dangers beneath the surface. Sometimes God removes us from environments that appear harmless or even attractive, but are, in reality, harmful to our spiritual, emotional, or mental well-being. This divine distancing is not rejection but protection. God's isolation shields us from relationships, opportunities, and influences that could derail our faith or damage our purpose. Not everyone who enters your life has good intentions. Some may seem kind but carry hidden motives, planting seeds of doubt, insecurity, or distraction. In His wisdom, God may distance you from such people to safeguard your calling. It can feel painful when relationships end, or when you're no longer included, but trust that God is working behind the scenes for your good. During this time, reflect on what truly matters. Use it as an opportunity to draw closer to God and to strengthen your discernment. By moving away from unhealthy connections, you create space for divine appointments, relationships, and opportunities that align with God's will. Number 2. God isolates to prepare you for greater things. Every chosen person in the Bible underwent a period of preparation before stepping into their God-ordained calling. Much like a seed must be buried in the darkness of the soil before it can sprout and flourish, you too may find yourself in a hidden season. This time of obscurity is not a punishment, but a necessary step in God's process of preparing you for the great purpose that lies ahead. Take the story of David. His triumph over Goliath may have been a defining moment, but it was far from the end of his journey. David didn't ascend to the throne immediately after his victory. Instead, he entered a long season of hardship and isolation. He spent years fleeing from King Saul, wandering through the wilderness, and leading a band of distressed, indebted, and discontented men. This group of societal outcasts, under David's guidance, became a loyal and courageous army. This period of isolation and adversity was not wasted. It was in these trials that God shaped David into the king he was destined to become. He developed the patience, resilience, and leadership skills necessary to shepherd an entire nation. David's time in the wilderness taught him to trust God deeply, rely on His timing, and lead with compassion and wisdom. Similarly, your season of isolation has a purpose. It is a time of pruning and refining, a process where God removes what no longer serves you and builds in you the character, strength, and faith required for your mission. This preparation is intentional. ensuring you are equipped to carry the weight of your calling. Promotion in God's kingdom is never rushed. He is deliberate and precise, ensuring His chosen ones are thoroughly prepared for the responsibilities ahead. So if you find yourself in a hidden season, take heart. Your isolation is not wasted. It is God's way of preparing you for something extraordinary, shaping you into the person He has called you to be. Trust the process, for when the time comes, you will be ready to step into your purpose. Number 3. God isolates to empower you. Isolation often brings challenges that test your limits, but within these trials lies an extraordinary opportunity for growth and empowerment. It is in solitude, when the distractions are stripped away, that you begin to uncover strengths, abilities, and qualities you never realized you had. These challenges are not meant to break you. They are designed by God to build you into the person He has called you to be. The story of David exemplifies how isolation can prepare you for greatness. Before he became king, David spent years on the run, hiding from King Saul in the wilderness. During this time, he gathered a group of men who were societal outcasts, discontented, in debt, and considered rejects by others. Yet, through David's leadership, these men transformed into a loyal and courageous army. This process was not easy. It required David to develop patience, resilience, and the ability to see beyond people's flaws, understanding their struggles and guiding them with compassion. Through isolation, David learned to rely on God completely, to trust His timing, and to lead with wisdom and humility. These lessons shaped him into a king after God's own heart, capable of uniting and shepherding an entire nation. Your challenges in isolation are similarly purposeful. They are a refining process, strengthening your faith, teaching you patience, and building your dependence on God. When you emerge from this season, you will not only carry a deeper understanding of who you are, but also a clearer vision of the unique calling God has placed on your life. Trust that the trials of isolation are preparing you for something far greater. They are shaping you into a person equipped with the character, strength, and faith necessary to fulfill God's extraordinary plans for your future. This is not the end. It is your preparation for what's to come. Number 4. God isolates to teach you. Dependence on Him. Isolation has a unique way of stripping away the distractions that so often clutter our lives, leaving us with one constant and unshakable source of comfort and guidance: God Himself. Far from being a punishment, isolation is an invitation to draw closer to Him, to lean on His presence, and to deepen your reliance on His wisdom and love. The story of Elijah beautifully illustrates this truth. After a dramatic showdown with the prophets of Baal, Elijah found himself fleeing into the wilderness, overcome by fear and discouragement in the face of Jezebel's threats. Alone and despondent, he prayed to God, even wishing for his life to end. Yet it was in this very moment of solitude that God met Elijah in a profound and personal way. God did not appear to Elijah in the wind, the earthquake, or the fire. He came in a gentle whisper. In that quiet moment, free from the chaos and distractions of the world, Elijah encountered the heart of God. This gentle interaction restored his strength, renewed his purpose, and prepared him to continue his mission. Your own season of isolation can be just as transformative. In the stillness, away from the noise of daily life, you have a unique opportunity to hear God's voice more clearly. It is in these quiet moments that your relationship with Him can deepen, your faith can grow stronger, and your purpose can become more defined. Do not resist this time of solitude. Instead, embrace it as a sacred season of spiritual renewal. Use it to seek God's presence, to listen for His whisper, and to allow His love and guidance to fill every corner of your heart. In the quiet, you will find strength, clarity, and the unmistakable peace that only God can provide. Number 5. God isolates to refine your character. God often uses isolation as a sacred tool to shape our hearts and refine our character. Just as gold is purified in the fire to remove impurities, Isolation serves as a spiritual furnace, burning away the things that hinder our growth: pride, impatience, fear, and even self-reliance. Through this process, God replaces these flaws with virtues like humility, resilience, and a deeper trust in His plans. The story of Joseph is a powerful example of this refining process. Betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned, Joseph endured years of painful isolation. Yet, each trial he faced was a stepping stone in God's larger plan. In his time of solitude, Joseph was being prepared for greatness. He learned to trust God in the most challenging circumstances, to forgive those who wronged him, and to steward his gifts with wisdom and integrity. These qualities were essential for the monumental responsibility of governing Egypt and saving countless lives during a famine. Your trials are not random or meaningless. They are intentional moments in God's divine process of refining you. Isolation can feel lonely and unfair, but it is in these seasons that God does His deepest work within you. He is shaping your character, preparing your heart, and building the strength you will need to fulfill your purpose. Trust in this process, even when the purpose isn't clear. Just as Joseph's years of hardship positioned him for a life-changing elevation, your season of isolation is setting the stage for something far greater than you can imagine. Let God's refining fire mold you into the person He has called you to be, for His plans are always good, and His timing is always perfect. Number 6. God isolates to test and strengthen your faith. Isolation can be one of the most challenging experiences in life, often feeling like abandonment. Yet it is important to understand that these moments are not signs of God's absence, but rather opportunities for a deeper test of faith. The question arises, will you trust God even when you feel unseen, forgotten, or alone? Jesus Himself faced this in one of the most profound ways during His 40 days in the wilderness. Isolated and vulnerable, He was tempted by the devil, who sought to exploit His physical hunger and solitude. Yet Jesus did not falter. Instead, He leaned on the power of prayer and the truth of Scripture to overcome each temptation. His reliance on God during this period of isolation not only defeated the enemy, but also prepared Him for the ministry that lay ahead. Through this time of solitude, Jesus was strengthened spiritually, mentally, and emotionally to fulfill His mission of saving humanity. Your faith is much like a muscle. It only grows stronger when it is tested and stretched. In isolation, when circumstances feel bleak and answers seem distant, you are given the chance to trust God in ways that deepen your dependence on Him. This resistance, though uncomfortable, builds spiritual strength and prepares you for greater challenges ahead. Isolation is not a punishment, but a divine appointment, a sacred time where God works within you to strengthen your faith, sharpen your focus, and refine your purpose. It is in these moments that you learn to cling to God's promises, even when everything around you suggests otherwise. Trust in His presence and His plan, for the wilderness is never the end of the story. It is where faith is fortified and victories are won. Number 7. God isolates to elevate you. Finally, God isolates His chosen ones because elevation often requires intentional and thorough preparation. Before revealing someone to the world, God works on them in private, away from the distractions and noise of public life. This hidden season is where He refines their character, builds their faith, and equips them with the wisdom and resilience needed to fulfill their calling. Consider the story of Joseph, a young man who endured years of isolation and hardship before his destiny was fulfilled. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned, Joseph could have easily believed his life had no purpose. Yet God was working behind the scenes, preparing him for a position of unparalleled influence. From the depths of a prison cell, Joseph was suddenly elevated to become the governor of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. This remarkable transformation was not a coincidence, but a divine plan that unfolded at the perfect time. When God decides to elevate His chosen ones, no force on earth or in heaven can stop it. The season of isolation you may be experiencing is not a sign of failure or rejection. It is evidence that God is setting the stage for something extraordinary in your life. In this time of hiddenness, trust that He is orchestrating every detail for your ultimate good and His glory. Your isolation is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something far greater than you can imagine. When the time is right, God will reveal you to the world in a way that leaves no doubt about His power and faithfulness. Until that moment, embrace the preparation, for it is shaping you into the person God has called you to be. From Moses to Paul, the Bible is filled with stories of isolation that led to greatness. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel out of Egypt. Paul withdrew to the Arabian desert after his conversion, using the time to deepen his understanding of the gospel. Even Jesus withdrew to solitary places to pray and prepare for His mission. Each of these examples reminds us that isolation is a season of preparation, not punishment. It is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to draw closer to God. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to declare with faith, "I am chosen." By doing so, you are affirming that God is at work in your life, even in moments of solitude. Share this message with others who may be in a season of isolation. Let them know that they too are chosen and that God is preparing them for something extraordinary. Remember, isolation is not the end. It is the beginning of a divine revelation. Trust the process. Lean into God's presence and prepare your heart for the greatness that lies ahead. The best is yet to come. You are here for a reason. Stop everything else and focus, because what you're about to hear will change your life forever. This message is not for everyone. It is specifically for the chosen ones, those handpicked by God for His divine purpose. If you are unsure whether this is for you, take a moment to listen. If it resonates, it's because it was meant for you. If not, feel free to turn away. But know this: those who stay to the end will discover a truth so powerful, it will transform your heart, spirit, and destiny. I am here as a messenger, a vessel for the Most High God, delivering a word that can no longer wait. This is not a message of comfort, but of urgency and fire, a message that burns within my spirit and must be released. Listen carefully. You are standing at the threshold of your final test. This is not just another challenge. It is the ultimate test, the one that will determine whether you break through to your destiny or remain in the wilderness of waiting. It is the test that will separate the ready from the unready, the faithful from the wavering. Until you pass this test, nothing will change. Every door will remain shut, every effort will feel futile, and every step forward will seem like walking in circles. But if you overcome, everything will shift. This is not a time for pretty words or false comfort. This is a wake-up call, a truth that will ignite your soul and propel you into action. Are you ready to receive it? If so, prepare your heart and let these words sink deep into your spirit. This test is not about your strength, intelligence, or accomplishments. It is about the condition of your heart, the depth of your faith, and your ability to endure. It is about whether you can hold on to God's promises when everything around you suggests giving up. It's about trusting Him in the silence, leaning into His will during the storms, and remaining steadfast when life feels unbearable. Look at Joseph, a man chosen by God for greatness. God gave Joseph dreams, visions of leadership, and a destiny that would elevate him above his brothers. But before Joseph could step into the promise, he was plunged into a season of testing. Betrayed by his own family, sold into slavery, and falsely accused, Joseph found himself in prison, seemingly forgotten and far from the dreams God had shown him. Yet these trials were not a punishment. They were a divine preparation. Why did God allow Joseph to endure such hardships? Because Joseph wasn't ready for the palace until he had been refined in the pit. The trials weren't meant to break him, but to shape him. God wasn't just preparing the blessing for Joseph. He was preparing Joseph to carry the blessing with humility, wisdom, and strength. In the same way, God is working in your life. The test you are enduring is not to harm you, but to refine you. It is stripping away everything that could hinder your divine calling: fear, doubt, pride, insecurity. It is cultivating in you a faith that cannot be shaken, a trust in God that is unwavering, and a heart that is fully surrendered. Isaiah 48:10 declares, "I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." The furnace is not a place of punishment. It is a place of transformation. God allows the heat of trials to burn away impurities and strengthen the character required for your destiny. His primary focus is not on what He's giving you, but on who you are becoming in the process. Understand this: God's blessings are never just for your enjoyment. They are entrusted to those who can steward them for His glory. The transformation happening within you is essential because the weight of your calling is too great to be carried by unprepared hands. This test, though painful, is shaping you into a vessel worthy of God's purpose. Embrace it, for your transformation is the key to unlocking the promise. When you emerge, you will be stronger, wiser, and ready to walk fully in the destiny God has prepared for you. Hold on, chosen one. This refining process is creating in you a heart that reflects the very image of God. The promise is near. Some of you find yourselves in a place that feels all too familiar, a place where prayers for breakthroughs seem to go unanswered, where every effort to move forward feels blocked, and where the circumstances you long to change remain stubbornly the same. You've asked why. You've cried out to God for answers. And here's the hard truth: you didn't pass the test. Like the Israelites, who wandered in the wilderness for 40 years, you've been circling the same mountains of delay, frustration, and disappointment. The Israelites doubted God's promises and allowed fear to dictate their actions. Instead of trusting the one who had parted the Red Sea, they complained, hesitated, and disobeyed. As a result, they delayed their destiny and missed the victory that could have been theirs much sooner. But this doesn't have to be your story. God's will for your life is not endless wandering, but victorious living. The test you're facing now is not meant to defeat you. It is designed to elevate you. God's desire is to move you forward, to open doors, and to bring you into the fullness of His promises. But He cannot do that until you are ready. The test before you is not punishment, it is preparation. Pass this test, and every barrier holding you back will break. Pass this test, and you will step into a new season of divine purpose and fulfillment. Consider Jesus, our ultimate example. Before He began His ministry, He was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, a place of testing. For 40 days and nights, He endured hunger, faced relentless temptation, and battled the enemy Himself. Yet, this time in the wilderness was not a punishment. It was preparation. It was here that His obedience was tested, His faith was solidified, and His mission was clarified. The wilderness was necessary. Without the wilderness, there would have been no cross. Without the cross, there would have been no resurrection. And without the resurrection, there would be no victory over sin and death. Jesus' time of testing was not just for Him, it was for us. It paved the way for the ultimate triumph that changed eternity. Your wilderness serves a similar purpose. It is not a dead end. It is the pathway to your promise. It is shaping you, refining you, and aligning you with God's will. The breakthrough you seek, the victory you long for, and the purpose you desire are all on the other side of this test. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Trust that God's plans are good, that His promises are true, and that He is working all things together for your good. This test is your gateway to greater things. Step into it with faith, endure it with trust, and emerge victorious, ready to fulfill the destiny God has prepared for you. You cannot pray this test away, skip it, or avoid it. No amount of pleading will cause God to remove the refining process, because it is not born out of cruelty, but out of His deep, abiding love for you. He knows that the blessing you've been asking for, the promotion, the relationship, the calling, is not just a gift, it's a responsibility. Without the foundation of faith, character, and endurance forged in the fire, the very blessing you desire could overwhelm and crush you. God loves you far too much to allow that to happen. Instead, He places you in the fire, not to destroy you, but to refine you, to shape you into the person capable of carrying the weight of His purpose. 2 Corinthians 4:17 reminds us, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." The struggles you are enduring now, the unanswered prayers, the long waits, the heartaches, are not without purpose. They are temporary, but the glory they are producing is eternal. The fire of testing may feel overwhelming, but it is burning away the impurities that cannot go with you into your destiny: fear, doubt, pride, and any reliance on your own strength. Think of a blacksmith refining silver. The process involves intense heat, enough to melt away every impurity, leaving only the purest form of the metal behind. This is what God is doing in you. The flames may feel fierce, but they are under His control. He is the master craftsman, carefully tending the fire to ensure it doesn't consume you, but instead refines and strengthens you. He is not punishing you, He is preparing you. This refining process is not about withholding your promise. It is about ensuring that both you and the promise are ready. The glory that awaits you on the other side of this test is far greater than the pain of enduring it. The character, wisdom, and faith you gain in this season will not only prepare you for the blessing, but will also enable you to sustain it and glorify God through it. You cannot rush this process because it is essential for your transformation. The person you are becoming matters more to God than the blessing itself. He is not just answering your prayers. He is elevating your spirit, deepening your trust, and aligning your heart with His divine purpose. Failing this test means more than just a temporary setback. It means remaining stuck in the same frustrating cycles of waiting, delay, and unfulfilled promises. It means circling the same mountain of doubt and disappointment, unable to move forward into the fullness of what God has planned for your life. But listen closely. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to repeat the same patterns or live in a perpetual state of almost. God's plan for you is not one of stagnation, but one of hope, victory, and divine purpose. The test you're facing is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to shape you. God is using this moment to prepare you for what's ahead. The blessings you've been praying for are not just rewards. They are responsibilities. To carry them well, you must first become the person God has called you to be. Strong in faith, unwavering in trust, and aligned with His will. This is your moment, chosen one. The test before you is not an obstacle. It is the key to your breakthrough. It is the bridge between who you are now and who God has destined you to become. It is refining you, strengthening you, and readying you for the next level of your calling. Do not let fear or frustration cause you to give up. Stand firm in the face of the trial, knowing that God is working all things for your good. Pass this test, and you will step into a season of transformation, victory, and purpose beyond anything you've imagined. The path to your destiny starts here. Walk boldly into it with faith. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead, the power of resurrection, triumph, and unshakable victory, lives within you. This is not just a comforting thought. It is a divine reality. You are not alone in the battle you face. Heaven is fighting for you, and all of God's promises are standing firm on your behalf. Jeremiah 29:11 assures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." But stepping into that future requires something of you. It demands endurance to press on when the road is long, faith to trust God when His plans are unclear, and surrender to release control and submit fully to His will. These qualities are not easy to cultivate, but they are essential for unlocking the life God has prepared for you. Do not fear the fire you are walking through. It may feel intense, but it is not meant to consume you. It is refining you, purifying you, and preparing you for the greatness that lies ahead. Resist the urge to escape the process or rush its timing. God is faithful. What He has begun in you, He will bring to completion. Trust the one who holds the fire and know that every moment of this journey is working for your good. You are being shaped into a vessel of honor, equipped to carry the blessings and purpose God has ordained for your life. Hold on, chosen one, for the power of God within you is greater than anything you face, and His plans for you are far beyond what you could ever imagine. Let us pray together. Heavenly Father, Almighty Creator of heaven and earth, we come before you with hearts full of reverence. You are holy, righteous, and sovereign over all. We call upon your presence in this moment, asking you to move mightily in our lives. Lord, we are in the midst of a test that feels overwhelming, stretching us to our limits. But we declare today that we will not face this test in our own strength. We call upon you, the God who strengthens the weary and increases the power of the weak. Father, refine us in this fire. Strip away every fear, doubt, pride, and unbelief. Shape us into vessels of honor, ready to carry the weight of your glory. We declare that this test is not the end. It is the beginning of our breakthrough. You are opening doors that no one can shut and making ways where there seem to be none. Chains are breaking, strongholds are falling, and miracles are being released. Lord, bless every person connected to this message. Surround them with your favor, protect them from the enemy, and pour out blessings they cannot contain. Let this season of testing prepare them for a season of victory. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray. Amen. If this message has stirred something deep within you, don't let this moment pass. Take a bold step of faith and declare in the comments, Jesus, I surrender myself to you. This is not just a statement. It is a proclamation of trust, faith, and your commitment to stepping into the destiny God has prepared for you. Your words have power, and this simple act of surrender can mark the beginning of a life-changing journey. We also invite you to join us in spreading God's truth and hope to others. By liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel, you're not just supporting a mission, you're sowing seeds into the kingdom of God. Every act of engagement helps carry this message to hearts that desperately need to hear it, transforming lives and igniting faith around the world. Your partnership in this mission matters more than you know. Chosen one. Remember this: your wilderness is not your destination. It is the pathway to your promise. God is working in you, refining you, and preparing you for something greater. Pass this test and step boldly into the fullness of your divine destiny. Heaven is cheering you on, and the world is waiting for you to rise. Thank you for being part of this journey and for standing with us in faith. Together, we are spreading hope, sharing truth, and building a legacy for God's glory. Your breakthrough is near. Keep going, and trust that God's promises will never fail. Stay connected and let's continue this journey of faith together. Have you ever taken a quiet moment to reflect on your childhood and wondered why your journey seems so different? Maybe you faced challenges that others around you appeared to avoid effortlessly. Perhaps you've grown into a responsible adult but still carry those lingering questions. Why did I struggle so much when I was young? Why did I feel so different from everyone else? Was all that hardship just random? Today I want to help you see a truth that can transform how you view your past. Your early experiences were not accidents. Those struggles, gifts, and sensitivities you carried as a child were not coincidences. They were signs. Signs that God was shaping you for a unique purpose before you even understood what purpose meant. The Bible beautifully declares in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This verse is a powerful reminder that God had a plan for your life before your very first breath. Every challenge you faced, every special moment you experienced, and every quirk that set you apart was part of His divine preparation. As we explore the 5 key signs that God was shaping you from childhood, I encourage you to participate. If any of these resonate with your story, Take a moment to write a Bible verse or affirmation in the comments. Something like, "God chose me," or "The Lord is my guide." Your words might inspire someone else to recognize their own journey in a new light. Let's dive in. Sign 1. You faced more obstacles. Early in life. Were you that child who seemed to face more challenges than everyone else? Maybe your family life was far from peaceful. You might have grown up in a home filled with arguments, financial struggles, or responsibilities far beyond what a child should bear. While other kids were worrying about toys and games, you were worrying about how to make things work, how to stretch limited resources or mediate conflicts you didn't create. At school, it may have been no different. While some kids seemed to glide through effortlessly, perhaps you struggled with learning difficulties, language barriers, or the instability of constantly changing schools. If this sounds like your story, know this: God knew you could handle more than you thought you could. The Bible reminds us in Romans 5:3-4, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Your early struggles weren't meant to break you. They were designed to build resilience and strength, qualities you would need later in life. Those years were like spiritual boot camp, shaping you into someone who could stand firm when others waver. Take a moment now to reflect. If this sign resonates with you, write a verse or affirmation in the comments. Perhaps, "I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me." By doing so, you're acknowledging that your early struggles were not wasted, but were part of God's plan to prepare you for greater things. Sign 2. You had prophetic or meaningful dreams. Do you remember having vivid, meaningful dreams as a child? Not just random or forgettable ones, but dreams that felt real, almost as if they carried a message. Maybe some of these dreams even predicted events or revealed truths that you didn't fully understand at the time. Perhaps you shared these dreams with a parent, sibling, or friend, only to be met with a shrug or even laughter. Over time, you may have learned to keep them to yourself, dismissing them as strange or irrelevant. Don't disregard those dreams so quickly. In the Bible, God often communicates through dreams. Think of Joseph in Genesis, a young man whose prophetic dreams eventually led to him saving nations. At first, his dreams made no sense to those around him, but in time, they revealed God's incredible plan. If you had dreams that felt deeply significant, it's possible that God gave you a spiritual sensitivity early on. While you may have pushed that sensitivity aside as you grew older, God hasn't forgotten. He may still want to use this gift in your life, whether to guide you, warn you, or help you understand deeper truths. If this resonates with you, comment something like, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening." This simple act acknowledges your openness to God's guidance, even if it comes in unexpected forms. Sign 3. Animals and troubled children were drawn to you. Were you the kind of child who seemed to naturally attract those who were hurting? Maybe it was a stray dog or a timid cat that found comfort in your gentle touch when others frightened them. Perhaps it was a classmate going through a tough time who confided in you, sensing you would listen and understand. You may have even noticed adults gravitating toward you, sharing burdens they didn't disclose to others, simply because they felt safe in your presence. You might not have always known what to say or do in those moments. As a child, you didn't have all the answers or solutions, yet somehow, your presence alone brought peace to chaotic situations. This wasn't by accident. It was evidence of God's light working within you. The Bible reminds us in Matthew 5:16, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." That comforting warmth, that ability to calm the anxious and soothe the broken, was God's gift. It was a sign that He placed a nurturing spirit within you, a reflection of His own heart of compassion. This gift is more important than you may realize. We live in a world filled with turmoil, pain, and loneliness, where people and creatures alike long for comfort and peace. The ability to bring stability, even without words, is a quality the world desperately needs. It's a calling that mirrors Jesus, who often comforted the brokenhearted simply by being present with them. Think about the moments in your childhood when this gift was most evident. Perhaps you had a reputation as the animal whisperer, able to calm skittish creatures no one else could approach. Or maybe you were the friend people turned to when life became overwhelming, trusting you to carry their secrets without judgment. Even if you didn't recognize it at the time, these moments were signs of God's work in you. If this resonates with your story, consider what it means for your life today. That heart of compassion God placed in you as a child hasn't gone away. It's still there, waiting to be used to bring peace and hope to those around you. Perhaps you're called to care for the hurting through acts of service, volunteering at a shelter, mentoring young people, or simply being a listening ear for someone in need. Take a moment to embrace this gift by writing an affirmation like, "Lord, make me a channel of your peace," in the comments. This simple prayer not only acknowledges the nurturing spirit God placed within you, but also opens your heart to His guidance on how to use it. Remember, the ability to bring peace to others isn't just a personality trait, it's a reflection of God's love. When you allow His light to shine through you, you fulfill a divine purpose, touching lives in ways you may never fully understand. Trust that God has been working through you all along, and continue to let that light shine. Sign 4. You were sensitive to truth and hurt by dishonesty. How did you feel as a child when you encountered dishonesty? Maybe it wasn't something directed at you personally, a friend casually breaking a promise, a classmate exaggerating a story, or even an adult telling a so-called harmless lie. While others seemed to shrug it off without a second thought, it might have felt like a sharp sting to you. It wasn't just disappointment, it was deeper, a discomfort that lingered and weighed on your heart. For you, dishonesty wasn't merely wrong, it disrupted something sacred. It may have even made you question why others could so easily bend or ignore the truth. If you were particularly sensitive to lies, even those seen as insignificant, it's not a flaw in your personality or a result of being too serious. Instead, it's a sign that God placed His love for truth deep within you from an early age. The Bible speaks to this in Psalm 51 verse 6, saying, "Surely you desire truth in the inner parts. You teach me wisdom in the inmost place." This verse reminds us that truth isn't just an external standard. It's a condition of the heart. When God created you, He instilled in you a longing for honesty, integrity, and authenticity. Your sensitivity to falsehood reflects God's own character, for He is the embodiment of truth. Consider the life of Jesus, who consistently spoke and lived out truth, even when it was difficult or costly. His example reminds us that living with integrity isn't always easy, but it's essential. As His followers, we are called to uphold truth in a world that often treats it as optional. Your childhood sensitivity to lies could be a reflection of God's preparation for you to be a voice of integrity, standing firm in environments where deceit might otherwise prevail. It's important to recognize that this sensitivity is not a burden, but a gift. It's evidence that God has chosen you to represent His values in a unique way. This doesn't mean you're called to confront every untruth you encounter. Rather, it means you're invited to live a life of honesty that inspires others. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reaffirm your commitment to truth. A simple prayer like, "Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation," can be a powerful declaration of your desire to align with God's heart. You might also consider how you can model integrity in your daily life, whether in your relationships, work, or personal decisions. Your sensitivity to dishonesty is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's a sign that God has called you to value and uphold truth in a way that mirrors His own nature. Embrace it, and let His truth shine through you. Sign 5. You were known for getting things done. Were you the child who always seemed to be the dependable one? Perhaps your family leaned on you to fix small but persistent problems around the house. Maybe your teachers assigned you responsibilities that seemed more suited to someone older because they trusted you wouldn't let them down. Even among your friends, you might have been the one others turned to in moments of need. Not because you were the loudest or most confident, but because they sensed your reliability and strength. At the time, you might not have thought much of it. You might have chalked it up to just how you are, or even felt the weight of those expectations as unfair. But what if those moments weren't random? What if they were intentional? In reality, God was using those early experiences to shape you into someone capable of handling bigger, more meaningful responsibilities in the future. Luke 16:10 reminds us of an important principle. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Those seemingly small moments of trust, whether taking care of a sibling, organizing a classroom project, or resolving conflicts among your friends, were more than just tasks or chores. They were opportunities for God to build within you the qualities of a leader: reliability, problem-solving, and the ability to bring order to chaos. God often starts His work in us early, crafting us through life's ordinary demands. Think of David, who began as a shepherd boy faithfully watching over his father's sheep. What seemed like an unimportant role was actually preparation for a much greater calling as Israel's king. Similarly, Joseph's years managing household affairs and enduring trials prepared him to lead Egypt through a famine. These early experiences weren't distractions or delays. They were essential training. If this resonates with you, pause and reflect on how those moments of responsibility shaped your character. Did they teach you patience? Did they help you develop resilience? Did they show you the importance of stepping up even when the tasks seemed too big? This isn't just about reflecting on the past. It's about recognizing what God is calling you to do today. If He made you dependable and trustworthy, it's because He has a purpose for those qualities. He might be asking you to step into leadership roles in your community, church, or workplace. He might be calling you to help others in a way that requires the same strength and reliability you displayed as a child. If this sign speaks to you, consider affirming your readiness with the words of Isaiah 6:8. "Here I am, Lord, send me." This simple but powerful declaration shows your willingness to embrace the gifts and training God has invested in you. When you take a step back and look at these signs collectively, you'll see a clear pattern. Number 1, you faced more obstacles than others, building resilience and perseverance. Number 2, you had prophetic dreams, revealing spiritual sensitivity and insight. Number 3, you brought comfort to others, showing a heart of compassion. Number 4, you were sensitive to dishonesty, carrying God's standard of truth. Number 5, you were trusted to lead and solve problems, preparing you for bigger tasks. These are not random traits. They are divine clues that God's hand has been on you all along. So what do you do with this realization? First, acknowledge and thank God. Take a moment to pray something like, "Lord, I see now that you've been shaping me from the start. Thank you for your guidance, even when I didn't understand it." Next, ask God how to use these gifts for His glory today. Whether it's serving your community, leading others, or simply being a source of comfort and truth, know that you are equipped for a purpose. Remember Ephesians 2:10. We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. You were never ordinary. God has been writing a story with your life, and it began long before you realized it. Now it's time to step confidently into the next chapter. Amen. Have you ever felt a tug at your soul, as though the universe itself is whispering your name, calling you toward a destiny far greater than what meets the eye? Perhaps you've stumbled upon this message for a reason. What we're about to explore transcends the ordinary, touching on a spiritual phenomenon so profound that only a rare few ever begin to grasp it. If you're here, reading these words, it's not by coincidence. Something within you resonates with this, stirring an inner knowing that defies explanation. Maybe, just maybe, you are among the chosen ones destined to experience the unparalleled connection of a twin flame. Let us embark on this journey together, peeling back the layers of mystery surrounding this rare and sacred bond. Before we delve into the enigmatic twin flame connection, we must first understand the concept of a chosen one. A chosen one isn't merely a title, it's a state of being, a divine calling woven into the fabric of your soul. To be a chosen one is to be selected by the universe, by divine forces, or by your higher self for a purpose that transcends the mundane. It's not something you decide to be, it's something you are, from the moment you take your first breath. Chosen ones often walk a path of solitude and self-discovery. From a young age, you may have felt different, as though you didn't quite belong in the world around you. Your experiences might have pushed you to question reality itself. Perhaps you've had dreams, visions, or encounters with energies that felt otherworldly. These moments weren't random. They were signposts, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of who you are and why you're here. At your core, you've always known there's a greater purpose waiting for you, and it is within this sacred journey that the twin flame enters, a mirror of your soul, a partner not in the conventional sense, but in the realm of the divine. A twin flame is not merely a romantic partner or someone who shares your interests. They are the other half of your spiritual essence, the yin to your yang, the spark that ignites your soul's deepest purpose. When a chosen one encounters their twin flame, it isn't just about love, though love, in its purest and most transcendent form, will be present. It is about awakening, evolution, and fulfilling your divine mission in this lifetime. Yet meeting your twin flame is often not the idyllic experience one might imagine. On the contrary, it can be one of the most intense, challenging, and transformative encounters of your life. Why? Because your twin flame reflects back to you everything within yourself that remains unhealed, unresolved, or hidden. They are your mirror, showing you the parts of your soul that require growth and integration. The connection is magnetic yet overwhelming, like standing before a blazing fire. You are drawn to them with an intensity that defies logic, yet you may feel an equally powerful urge to run away. This push-pull dynamic is not a flaw in the connection, it is its purpose. It forces you to confront your shadows and step into your spiritual power. The twin flame of a chosen one doesn't stand out because of their physical appearance or external traits. Instead, they are recognized through the way they make your soul feel. Meeting them is like gazing into a mirror, not a physical mirror, but one that reflects the depths of your essence, your hidden potential, and the purpose of your soul. This recognition transcends appearances, reaching into the core of who you are and awakening something profound within you. When you encounter your twin flame, there is an immediate sense of familiarity and connection. It's not a feeling that can be explained through logic or reason. Instead, it is an intuitive knowing, a soul-deep understanding that defies words. You may feel as though you've known them for lifetimes, and in a very real sense, you have. Twin flames are bound by a spiritual connection that extends beyond time, often incarnating together across multiple lifetimes to assist each other in growth, healing, and the fulfillment of their divine missions. This connection goes beyond the superficial. When you look into their eyes, it's as if you're peering into your own soul. They reflect back to you both your light and your shadows, illuminating the parts of yourself that need healing and growth. It is through this mirroring that twin flames challenge and inspire each other to become the best versions of themselves. Their presence ignites a transformation, pushing you to step into your higher self and fulfill your soul's purpose. The journey with your twin flame is not always easy. Their role in your life is not just to love you, but to awaken you. They may trigger your deepest fears and insecurities, not to hurt you, but to help you confront and release them. This process can be intense, but it is also profoundly healing. Each challenge is an opportunity to evolve, to shed old patterns, and to align more fully with your true self. The bond between twin flames is magnetic and undeniable. Despite the challenges, their connection is rooted in unconditional love and a shared spiritual mission. Together, twin flames create a powerful synergy, a union that radiates love and light into the world. They are not just here for their own growth, but to contribute to the awakening of humanity, serving as an example of what is possible when love transcends fear and ego. Why is the twin flame connection so crucial for those who are chosen? The answer lies in the profound role it plays in your spiritual awakening and ascension. A twin flame is more than just a romantic partner or a kindred spirit. They are a catalyst for your soul's evolution and a guide to help you align with your higher self. This connection transcends the physical world, pulling you toward the deeper truths of who you are and why you are here. The challenges you face with your twin flame are not coincidental or arbitrary. They are divinely orchestrated. Every argument, misunderstanding, or moment of doubt serves a higher purpose. These moments are carefully designed to strip away illusions, break down ego barriers, and open you to deeper levels of love and understanding. The universe uses the intensity of this connection to ask a pivotal question. Are you ready to ascend? Are you ready to step fully into your divine purpose? One of the most significant aspects of the twin flame connection is its ability to reflect your inner world. The very things that trigger you about your twin flame are often the keys to unlocking your highest potential. Their presence brings to light wounds you may have suppressed, fears you have avoided, and insecurities you didn't even know existed. This is not meant as punishment. It is the divine plan in action, urging you to confront and heal those parts of yourself that are holding you back from becoming your true self. The pain, struggle, and intensity of the twin flame journey are powerful teachers. They challenge you to look beyond the surface, to seek the deeper meaning behind every interaction and emotion. Through this process, you come to understand that the journey is not just about uniting with your twin flame, but about uniting with yourself, your truest, highest self. As you navigate this connection, you begin to realize its ultimate purpose: preparation. The twin flame journey prepares you for a mission that extends beyond personal fulfillment. Together, twin flames are called to contribute to the spiritual evolution of humanity. Their union radiates a powerful energy that inspires and uplifts others, showing what is possible when love transcends fear, ego, and limitation. The twin flame journey is not for the faint of heart. Often described as both the most beautiful and the most challenging experience a soul can undergo, it is a transformative path that requires strength, courage, and an unwavering commitment to growth. For those chosen to walk this sacred journey, the stakes are even higher, as their connection holds not just personal meaning, but also a collective purpose. One of the most profound challenges in the twin flame journey is the triggering of deep emotional wounds. Twin flames act as mirrors, reflecting back to each other all the unresolved pain, fears, and insecurities hidden within. This process, though deeply uncomfortable, is not meant to harm. Instead, it is an invitation to heal, to confront the shadows that block your path to wholeness. When these triggers arise, take a moment to pause and reflect. What is this experience teaching me? What part of my soul is crying out for attention, understanding, and love? By embracing these moments as opportunities for growth, you begin the process of transforming pain into wisdom and resistance into acceptance. Another common challenge is the experience of separation. Many twin flames undergo periods of physical or emotional distance from one another. This separation, while often excruciating, serves a higher purpose. It provides space for each individual to focus on their own healing, to confront their own shadows, and to align more fully with their higher selves. Separation is not a punishment, but a period of preparation, ensuring that when the time comes to reunite, both partners are ready to fulfill their shared mission with clarity and strength. The journey can feel overwhelming, but the key to navigating its challenges lies in surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means releasing the need to control the outcome and trusting in the divine plan. It is a practice of faith, believing that even when the path is unclear, every step is leading you closer to alignment and purpose. By surrendering, you open yourself to the flow of divine guidance, allowing the journey to unfold as it is meant to, rather than as you wish it to. Remember, the twin flame journey is not just about the union between two souls. It is about the union within yourself. It is a path of self-discovery, healing, and awakening that ultimately prepares you to share your light with the world. Though the challenges may feel insurmountable at times, They are the very crucible in which your soul transforms. Embrace them with an open heart and a courageous spirit, trusting that the divine is guiding you every step of the way. In doing so, you honor not just your connection with your twin flame, but also the sacred purpose you were chosen to fulfill. The twin flame connection transcends the boundaries of personal love or individual growth. It is a sacred bond with a profound collective purpose to assist in the spiritual evolution of humanity. For those chosen to embark on this journey, the union is not just a blessing but also a responsibility, a divine calling to serve the greater good. When twin flames come together, their combined energy generates a powerful ripple effect, one that raises the vibration of the world. Their love becomes more than a personal connection. It transforms into a source of healing and inspiration that reaches far and wide. Together, they act as co-creators of a new reality, one rooted in love, unity, and higher consciousness. Their union becomes a beacon of hope, shining brightly for others and inspiring them to awaken to their own spiritual potential. Every twin flame mission is unique, shaped by the individual gifts and life paths of each partner. For some, the mission may simply involve embodying unconditional love in their everyday lives, serving as living examples of what is possible when love transcends fear and ego. Their presence alone can inspire transformation in those around them. For others, their purpose might take on a more active form, collaborating on creative, humanitarian, or spiritual projects that heal, uplift, or awaken others. Whether their work takes the shape of art, activism, mentorship, or spiritual teaching, the essence of their mission remains the same: to contribute to the awakening of humanity. This journey is not without its challenges. It requires each partner to confront their deepest fears, heal old wounds, and grow into the fullest expression of their true selves. But through this process, twin flames not only elevate their own consciousness, but also create a path for others to follow. Their love becomes a mirror, reflecting the infinite potential that exists within every soul. The journey of twin flames is a profound and transformative path, one that demands unwavering commitment to personal healing and spiritual growth. It is not for the faint of heart, as it requires facing the shadows within, the fears, wounds, and insecurities that often lie hidden beneath the surface. Yet, this inner work is essential. Only by embracing the challenges of self-discovery and self-love can twin flames align with their higher selves and fulfill their shared purpose. This sacred mission is not linear. It evolves as you do. It takes courage to release old patterns, dedication to nurture your soul, and a willingness to trust the process even when the way seems unclear. Growth often emerges from moments of discomfort, and healing requires both patience and faith. As you embark on this journey, remember that the universe is your constant guide. Signs, synchronicities, and intuitive nudges will light your path, gently steering you toward your destiny. Though the road may feel uncertain at times, it is woven with divine timing. Your mission, uniquely crafted for your union, will reveal itself step by step as you learn to surrender and align with your true essence. Every moment, every challenge, and every breakthrough is a piece of the larger tapestry, leading you closer to fulfilling your soul's highest calling. So walk this path with an open heart and a fearless spirit. Trust in the process, and know that your commitment to healing and growth is the key to unlocking the infinite potential of your twin flame journey. Together, you will shine as a beacon of love, unity, and divine purpose, inspiring others to awaken to the truth of their own souls. The twin flame journey is one of profound transformation. It is a path of fire and gold, burning away what no longer serves you and revealing the purest version of your soul. As a chosen one, you are not just called to love deeply, you are called to love expansively, in a way that uplifts and inspires the entire world. So, are you ready to embrace the intensity of the twin flame connection? Are you willing to confront your shadows and step into your divine power? If so, you and your twin flame have the potential to create a ripple effect of love and healing that changes not just your lives, but the lives of countless others. This is the gift of the twin flame journey, a love that transcends the personal and becomes a force for collective awakening. It is the ultimate expression of divine love in action, and it is the sacred mission of the chosen few. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the twin flame journey. If this message resonates with you, we invite you to like this video, share it with others who may need this inspiration, and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories and insights. Together, let's continue to shine a light on the path of love, healing, and transformation. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Imagine this for a moment. Every heartbreak you've endured, every sleepless night spent wrestling with doubt, every moment you questioned your worth, it has all been preparing you for this very moment. Not just this video, not just this fleeting instant, but this entire lifetime. You are not here by accident. You've felt it, haven't you? That subtle yet undeniable pull. That inexplicable sense whispering that there is something different about you. Something extraordinary. But what if I told you that the struggles, the chaos, the pain, they weren't random? They were signs. Signs that you are among the most powerful chosen ones. But let's pause. Let's begin where it truly matters, with the first and most important question. Do you feel like you don't belong in this world? Not in a way that makes you sad or lost, but in a way that quietly suggests you were made for something beyond this. Sign number 1, the hidden fire within. The truth is, chosen ones often feel like strangers in an ordinary world. You might glance at the world around you, the predictable routines, the shallow conversations, the endless pursuit of material comforts, and feel a deep, unsettling disconnection. It's as if you're walking through life observing everything from a distance, sensing that there's something more, something deeper beneath the surface that others can't seem to see. But hear me clearly, this feeling is not a curse, it's a call to rise above the noise, to break free from the illusions of comfort and conformity, and to step boldly into the purpose you were designed for. What separates the chosen ones is their vision. We don't just see the world for what it is, we see it for what it could become. We sense possibilities where others see limitations. We feel the weight of untapped potential in every interaction, every injustice, every moment of stillness. And this deeper awareness isn't by accident. It's the first undeniable sign that you are among the most powerful chosen ones. Your inner flame refuses to be extinguished. No matter how many storms life has hurled at you, the fire inside you keeps burning. Maybe it's your dreams that won't let go of you. Maybe it's a vision for something greater, a passion that refuses to die, or an unshakable will to keep moving forward. Whatever it is, there's something inside you that refuses to be silenced. Even when you've been knocked down, once, twice, 100 times, you rise. But let me share a deeper truth. That inner fire isn't just resilience, it's purpose. Think about it. Why would the universe test you so fiercely if you weren't meant to overcome it all? Why would you be given this relentless strength if there wasn't a greater reason for your existence? Every heartbreak, every setback, every failure, it wasn't sent to break you. It was sent to forge you, to shape you into the person capable of carrying out a purpose far bigger than you can imagine. Let's make this personal. Reflect on the hardest moment you've ever faced. Was it betrayal by someone you trusted? A devastating loss that left you breathless? A failure so profound it shattered your confidence? Now ask yourself this. Did it destroy me, or did it prepare me? Because here's the truth about chosen ones. We don't crumble under pressure. We transform. Every scar becomes a story of survival. Every setback becomes a stepping stone to growth. Every disappointment becomes a redirection, guiding you closer to your true calling. And here's the most sacred secret I need you to understand. That relentless drive you feel, that fire pushing you to keep going even when you're exhausted, that didn't come from you alone. It was placed within you, a divine spark gifted to you the very moment you were born. You didn't earn it. You can't lose it. It's simply who you are. But that brings us to a question that only you can answer. What are you doing with that fire? It's not enough to simply survive. You were not chosen to merely get by. You were chosen to thrive, to lead, to awaken, to create. So how are you using the fire within you to shape the world around you? Are you feeding it with bold action and courageous choices? Or are you dimming it to fit into spaces too small for your spirit? Because here's the truth. That fire was never meant to be contained. It wasn't given to you to keep you warm and comfortable. It was given to you to set the world ablaze, to spark change, to inspire others, to light the way for those still trapped in darkness. But here's the part most people won't tell you. If you don't use that fire, it will turn inward. The very thing that was meant to empower you can become the source of frustration, restlessness, and even pain if you ignore it. Because chosen ones are not meant to sit still. We are meant to move, to create, to build, to lead. So I ask you again, what are you doing with that fire? Are you letting it burn freely, guiding you toward your purpose? Or are you letting fear, doubt, and comfort smother it? Because this fire is your greatest gift, but it is also your greatest responsibility. The world is waiting for your light, waiting for your voice, waiting for the impact only you can make. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start now. Feed the fire. Let it burn brighter. Let it lead you. Because the world doesn't need more people going through the motions. It needs more fire. And that fire is you. Sign number 2, living with purpose and power. Being chosen isn't about merely surviving life's challenges. It's about thriving in the face of them. It's about rising above the noise and the chaos, embracing your unique gifts and using them to create something far greater than yourself. You were not placed here to simply exist. You were not meant to drift through life, conforming to the world's expectations. No, you were called to stand out, to rise up, and to fulfill a purpose that reaches far beyond your own life. So, let me ask you this. Are you truly chasing your highest potential, or are you shrinking to fit into a world that was never meant to contain you? It's a difficult question, but it's one that demands your honest reflection. Too often, we dim our light to make others comfortable. We shrink our dreams to avoid standing out, to avoid criticism or rejection. But chosen ones don't settle. They don't water themselves down to fit into spaces that were never meant for them. Chosen ones understand something profoundly important. Your inner fire wasn't given to you just to light your own path. It was given to you to illuminate the world. And that brings us to one of the most undeniable signs that you are among the chosen. You carry a deep, unexplainable connection to others. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the energy shift? Maybe the atmosphere became lighter, warmer, calmer. Or perhaps people have told you, without prompting, that they feel safe around you, that your presence brings them peace, clarity, or comfort. This isn't about ego. It's not about charisma or being the center of attention. It's something far deeper. It's energy. Chosen ones carry a unique, magnetic energy. It's not something that can be taught or faked. It's born from experience, from enduring pain, heartbreak, failure, and still choosing to stand tall. It's the result of being tested and broken, yet emerging stronger, softer, and wiser. And in that breaking, in that burning away of everything superficial, we've become vessels for something far greater than ourselves. But here's where the paradox lies. Your openness is both your greatest strength and your greatest vulnerability. The same light that draws people to you can also attract those who are not meant to stay. Some people are drawn to your energy because they sense your strength, your compassion, your understanding. But not everyone who is drawn to you has pure intentions. Some are there to drain you, to take without giving, to pull from your light without ever contributing to it. Others may test your boundaries, seeing how much of yourself you're willing to give away before you recognize the need to protect your energy. And so I must ask you, who are you allowing into your sacred space? This is not a question of judgment, but one of discernment. Even the strongest among us need protection. Even the brightest flames need shielding from the cold winds of doubt, negativity, and distraction. Your energy is not infinite. It is sacred. It is powerful. But it must be nurtured and protected. It's easy to give, thinking that it's our responsibility to heal and help everyone who crosses our path. But the truth is, not everyone is meant to walk this journey with you. Not everyone deserves access to your heart, your mind, or your spirit. Boundaries are not barriers. They are gates. Gates that allow in those who align with your purpose and gently close to those who seek to harm or drain you. So, take a moment to reflect. Are you surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, who challenge you to grow, who add to your light? Or are you allowing people into your life who take and take, leaving you feeling empty, drained, and lost? Because here's what I need you to understand. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot light the way for others if your own flame is flickering. And remember this. Your light is too precious to be dimmed by people who cannot handle its brilliance. So guard your heart, protect your spirit, nurture your soul, because the world needs your light to shine as brightly as it possibly can. Sign number 3, the unshakable sense of purpose. Here's the third, and perhaps the most profound sign that you are among the chosen. You feel an unshakable sense of purpose, even if you don't fully understand it yet. There's a quiet, persistent voice within you, a gentle but constant knowing that you are here for something greater, something significant, something that could change the world. Maybe you can't explain it. Maybe you've never been able to put it into words. But that feeling has always been there, hasn't it? A whisper in your soul that refuses to be silenced. Yet despite feeling this deep calling, you might find yourself wondering, but what exactly is it? What am I supposed to do? You've probably tried different paths, pursued different careers, formed relationships, chased various dreams, only to feel like none of them quite fit. Like wearing shoes that aren't made for you, no matter how much you try to break them in. And maybe, just maybe, this has left you feeling restless or even frustrated. You might have questioned yourself, wondering if you're failing because nothing seems to align. But what if I told you that this restlessness isn't a sign of failure at all? What if it's proof that your purpose is bigger than you can currently comprehend? Here's a truth that took me years to understand. Purpose isn't about knowing, it's about trusting. Trusting that every step, even the missteps, the detours, and the dead ends, are leading you somewhere meaningful. Trusting that the universe, God, or whatever higher power you believe in, is working in your favor, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. You see, we live in a world that constantly demands certainty. We're told we need a clear plan, a 5-year roadmap, and measurable goals. But true purpose doesn't work like that. Purpose is not always a clear destination. It's a journey, a series of small steps, each one revealing more of the path ahead. But here's where it gets challenging. We often wait. We wait for clarity. We wait for permission. We wait for the perfect time. But let me challenge you with this. What if you stopped waiting for clarity and started acting with faith? What if you trusted that the very act of moving forward, even when you don't have all the answers, is what will eventually lead you to where you're meant to be? Because here's the truth. Purpose isn't something you find. It's something you create. It's not hidden behind some locked door you need to unlock. It's not waiting for you on some distant horizon. It's right here, right now. It's in the way you treat the people around you, with kindness, compassion, and love. It's in the way you choose courage over comfort, even when it terrifies you. It's in the risks you take, the passions you pursue, and the authenticity you bring to every situation. Purpose is built in the ordinary moments, not just the extraordinary ones. So, let me ask you, if you knew without a doubt that you were chosen for greatness, how would you live differently? Would you stop holding back? Would you finally start that project you've been dreaming about? Would you speak your truth without fear of judgment? Would you take that leap of faith, trusting that the net will appear? Think about it. How many dreams have you delayed because you were waiting to feel ready? How many opportunities have you passed up because you doubted yourself? But here's something you need to hear. You will never feel fully ready. And that's okay. You're not supposed to. Because purpose doesn't require you to be ready. It requires you to be willing. Willing to take the first step. Willing to stumble. Willing to grow. Every great journey begins with a step forward into the unknown. And yes, it might be uncomfortable. It might even be scary. But every step you take will build momentum. Every action you take will bring more clarity. You were chosen for this life, for this moment, for this calling. So I ask you again, if you truly believed you were destined for greatness, how would you live today? Would you rise earlier to work on your dreams? Would you stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces too small for your spirit? Would you speak life into others, knowing your words carry weight and healing? This is your permission. Stop waiting. Start creating. Because every moment you delay, the world is missing out on the impact only you can make. You don't need to know every detail of the journey. You just need to begin. Sign number 4, becoming the light. Chosen ones are not here to live ordinary lives. We are not here to blend in, to follow the crowd, or to settle for mediocrity. We are here to lead, to awaken others, to create legacies that outlive us, to ignite flames in souls that are still asleep. But let's be honest, this path is not an easy one. Stepping into your power comes with great responsibility. It demands more from you than most people are willing to give. It requires you to rise above fear, self-doubt, and the comfort of familiarity. It calls you to live boldly, to step forward even when your knees tremble, and to shine brightly even when the darkness feels overwhelming. It means no longer hiding, no longer waiting, no longer dimming your light to make others comfortable. It means becoming the light, even when it feels safer to stay in the shadows. And so I must ask you, what part of yourself have you been hiding? Is it your creativity, your voice, your compassion, your leadership? Think about it. How many times have you silenced your ideas out of fear they wouldn't be accepted? How often have you hesitated to share your truth because you worried it wouldn't be enough? But here's a truth you need to hear and believe with every fiber of your being. Your vulnerability is your greatest strength. The parts of you that feel broken, imperfect, or uncertain, those are the parts that make you real. And it's not perfection that inspires people. It's authenticity. People don't need you to have all the answers. They don't need you to be flawless. What they need is to see someone who dares to show up exactly as they are, raw, honest, and human. They need to see that it's possible to be both flawed and extraordinary at the same time. But let me be clear. Recognizing your gifts is not enough. You must act. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel ready. Because here's the truth. The perfect moment will never come. There will always be reasons to wait. Doubts, fears, what-ifs. But none of those reasons are enough to justify staying small. So, start. Write the book that's been on your heart for years. Create the art that speaks your truth. Launch the business that could change lives. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Because when you do, when you step forward in faith, the universe will rise to meet you. Doors will open. Opportunities will appear. People will show up to support you. Not by accident, not by luck, but because you finally aligned with your purpose. And here's the greatest truth of all. The world doesn't need more noise. It doesn't need more empty words, more surface-level conversations, or more people pretending to be something they're not. The world needs more light, and that light is you. Your perspective, your voice, your energy, your story. No one else can offer what you have. No one else can carry the message you were born to deliver. So, I'll leave you with this. What will you do with the gift of being chosen? Will you rise? Will you lead? Will you step into your calling with courage and conviction? Because the world is waiting. Will you answer the call? Thank you so much for being here and sharing this moment with me. If this message spoke to your soul, if it awakened something within you, I invite you to join this journey of growth and purpose. Subscribe to this channel for more inspiring content designed to empower you to step fully into your divine calling. And if this message resonated with you, please like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Until next time, keep shining.